probably imagine that I'm really in shock today.
Hello everyone, how are you doing on this Thursday afternoon? I hope you are doing well. Looks like cats won the first poll, which is the correct answer. I voted for cats. Hello, Sushi Mom, how you doing? Hello, everyone else. I hope you're doing well. So today, we're going to be doing a poll-based stream. So you guys in the chat are going to give me options to put on the poll, multiple polls. We're going to do multiple polls, and then whatever topic wins that poll, we will do that kind of video. So, like, I'm just gonna you don't have to use these, but I'm saying, for example, it would help if it's something I usually cover, but it can be something else. Something along the lines of, you know, do we want to do a conspiracy video, or a Chud, or a, you know, a Karen, a sovereign citizen. So, like, what options do you guys think I should put on the first poll? Let me know in the chat, and then I'll start working on the poll for us to get to vote. Spoops for days, thank you for following, and Bumble Homestead with 100 bits. US folks, please also vote in November for the not fascists, please. Thank you. I endorse that message. I agree. Old enough to know more better. Thank you for subscribing with a 5-month streak. Love being here. Thanks for being an awesome streamer. Thanks for being an awesome stream viewer. History of the entire world, I guess. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Flat Earth. Can we watch the Cancel Con? What's Cancel Con? Sure, hold on. Let me get a piece of paper or something so I can write these down. Because I can only put so many options in a single poll, so I'll have some of these carry over into the others. Flat Earth. Cancel Con. Yes, you can recommend either specific videos or topics. Bunnies. I'll just have bunnies as, like, if we do a cleanse, we'll do bunnies. Ooh, Hype Train. Philosophy Light. Thank you for subscribing. 3-month streak. If you haven't seen the History of the Entire World, I guess that's a good watch. History of the Entire World. Okay, what else? Folks, you gotta give me stuff. This is the entire premise of the stream.
There's nothing.
Undo the poll. I didn't. Well, I guess I wanted to get more people's suggestions. I didn't necessarily want Chud's Karen's conspiracy, although it can be. Cryptids. Sushi Mom with 100 bits. Hannah, Baha agrees with me that you need to smile and have just the thing for it. Okay. Kirathan with 100 bits. Cryptids. Okay. Cryptids. Oh, I've seen the long man stuff. Yeah. It's one joke. I don't know. It's funny the first time, but ghosts, public domain vid. Okay, we're gonna have to do multiple poll. Like after we do whatever. Like Chud's just won the first poll, so we'll do a Chud video and then I'll do another poll with some of these other options. Public domain vid. Public domain. Ghosts. Cryptids. Have cryptids down. Weird 1960s game show. Oh god. Why? Why is it circusy? Okay, I'll have weird 1960s game show on the list.
Pictures, and we
Swole Enormous has a video. Is the BMI scale wrong? It's making fun of people who are like body positivity people or something, I'm guessing. Cancel Convid. Did Jake cover the VP debates? I couldn't stomach it live last night. No, we did D&D. Cancel Con. Okay. So Chud's won the first one. We'll do a Chud, and then after that we'll do another poll with some of these other options. Which I have the list, so I can set it up, mods. You don't have to. I'll do it. Thank you, though. Did you guys see Trump pulled out of the second debate because they were going to do it, you know, digitally because Trump has COVID? And Trump was like, no, I can't yell over someone on the internet, so I need to be in person so I can be a jackass. The thing about the fly on Mike Pence, I don't care. It's just a fly, stuff like that. It's just random, right? What gets me is that if it were the opposite, and let's say a fly landed on Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or, you know, Obama or anyone, crazy people on the right would be like, they're the Antichrist! A fly landed on them! And it's just weird, the blatant hypocrisy when it happens to, like, Mike Pence and no one on the right gives a shit. It's very, very, very annoying. Old enough to know more better. Thank you for gifting a sub to Carjin23. You like all the jokes about the fly. I don't like memes that, like, it feels like a forced meme to me. I don't know. It feels like everyone was like, oh, a fly landed on Mike Pence. We gotta make 50 million memes about it because it's a thing that happened to Mike Pence. And it's like, all right, guys, it's a fly. It's a fly. That's cringe to me in the same way, and a positive example of this that I also cringed at was, like, all the Bernie bird memes after a bird landed next to Bernie Sanders. And everyone was like, oh my god, a bird landed next to Bernie. I voted for Bernie Sanders. I like Bernie Sanders. But oh my god, it made me cringe so hard. All the bird stuff with Bernie Sanders. Life is suffering, agreed. I know you guys are going to disagree with me. That's fine. You're allowed to disagree with me. I just personally find it pretty cringe. Alright, so Chud's won the first one. I don't know if I want to do this. What else does this guy have? Oh god, he's shirtless and he wears a American flag headband. Him making fun of mukbangs. Binge eating is acceptable on YouTube. Like, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with people who do, like, the mukbang thing, or however you pronounce it, mukbang, mukbang, I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. Windchanter, thank you for subscribing with a 2-month streak. Woo. Regardless, the whole idea, like, I don't have a problem with it, but there are certainly people on YouTube who do it unhealthy. It's one thing if once every 6 months your YouTube channel happens to have, like, a video where you're eating a bunch of food, and that's, like, that's the point of the video, right? If you don't know, those videos are like when people sit down and they're like, I ordered everything off the menu at Rally's or at Shake Shack, and now we're gonna eat every single thing, or they at least try a couple bites of every single thing. They don't always eat everything. But, like, people whose entire channel is that, and they do eat most of what they buy, yeah, that's unhealthy. That's very, very unhealthy. The Marusama, thank you for continuing your gift sub. Appreciate it. Is it patriotism to always be shirtless and fetishize the flag? Yeah. Hype Train, let's see some hats. Windchanter, 96% of level 2. I'll get them all together once the Hype Train's done.
Hello, ye old beaches. Welcome back to the channel. We're about to check out some hypocritical smut today because you know, on YouTube, you cannot post any videos of any kind of disordered eating. You know what I'm talking about. You can't post mukbang videos anymore. So all of you...
Is that true? Did YouTube change their policy and now people can't do mukbang videos? I didn't know that if that's the case. That's just, I imagine it's, you can't sit and have people watch you eat like 5 cheeseburgers in a row, which is unhealthy, and you should not do that. That's not good for you, obviously. Arenas through 250 bits. Hype, love you, Han, and keep doing what you do. Typing with fresh nail paint is hard AF. Thank you. Antipodian Squid with 300 bits. Wait, what? We're hyping? Yes, we are.
You that are expecting a mukbang video, it seems like you are SOL. Oh. I'm just kidding. Let's bang some face holes.
He looks like the cleanest Viking or the dirtiest hippie.
TVMANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is
you for
intended
following.
only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
It's about not having bulimic videos. Right, I understand that. But he was making it sound like people have already had their mukbang videos taken down. Which would surprise me, which is why I was curious about why he said that. Let me see. YouTube. I'm sure I can find mukbang videos. They're quite popular. Mukbang. Oh yeah, he's totes wrong. There's tons of mukbang videos. Like, I understand not promoting eating disorders, but like, mukbang videos aren't inherently that. I agree there are examples, and I've seen them. I've seen examples of channels that involve mukbangs where the person eats way too much and the person has an unhealthy relationship with food, let's say. And I'm not going to call anyone out because that's not fair and that's not what this is about. I know this because I also have a pretty unhealthy relationship with food. I'm working on it. I'm down like 30 pounds, which is great, and I continue to work on that. But like, I understand the idea that, like, watching someone binge eat could be harmful to someone out there, especially younger people, but mukbang in and of itself as a genre of video isn't inherently that, right? Especially if it's you and a bunch of friends and you get together, and let's say you get, 5 or 6 cheeseburgers. But let's say you have 3 or 4 friends, and you cut them up, and you all try a little bit of each one. Like, that's not inherently a problem, or if you have enough money, and this is wasteful, which is a whole different issue, but if you're doing it, and you make money doing it, and you get a bunch of stuff, and you just eat a bite or 2 of each thing, and then throw the rest away, it's gross, it's bad, that's wasteful, but, like, that also, not necessarily, like, an eating disorder, right? Do you guys remember, what were they called? Oh god, they made fast food lasagna. I don't remember the name of this channel. Epic Meal Time. Back in 2011, they made a fast food lasagna. This guy was funny. Has he done anything since this that's bad and I shouldn't like this person?
Fast food.
That feels like the MO of a lot of 2011 YouTubers.
15 Big Macs, please.
How much Big Macs?
15.
The trios or just the Big Macs?
Just the Big Macs.
15 Big Macs? Yeah, it's 76 and 73 cents.
Okay, and can I get a liter of Big Mac sauce on the side?
No problem.
Thank you.
A liter of Big Mac sauce.
Incredibly easy.
We're not gonna watch this whole thing, but you know, they go to Wendy's, McDonald's, and Burger King, and they get all sorts of, and then they make lasagna out of the burgers and stuff. It's absolutely disgusting.
That's the burger face baconator layer, player.
Amorimku, thank you for subscribing. 3-month
More
streak.
bacon strips.
You get it. Mac sauce and burgers, and they get Wendy's chili that they top it with, and there's onion rings and cheese. I think they calculate the calories, and it's like tens and tens of thousands of calories.
When I tell you to. Wait. Okay, go.
Oh god, it's so disgusting. They did a bunch of videos like this. My point is, people do things that are gross and unhealthy for YouTube videos all the time. You know? Where do you draw the line? I don't know. I'm not in charge of YouTube. But, like, the concept of a mukbang in and of itself... You don't have to leave. I'm done showing the video. The point is... People do unhealthy things for YouTube videos all the time. It's only when that becomes, like, dangerous that I think it crosses a line. Woohoo Lulu, thank you for the 10 bits. Sorry, I think I missed that. These guys make the same video over and over. I agree, yeah. It got old. I only watched, like, 3 of their videos when they came out in, like, 2011, and then I stopped. Cold Stare, thank you for gifting a sub to Paladin's Fury. Level 2. We completed level 2. I'll get 2 hats. I'm gonna do 2 professor hats. Professor being my D&D character. This hat from a professor that does not exist yet, but I know I want to wear this hat as the professor because I like this hat a lot. And then this hat, which is also a professor hat.
What's going on, fam? It's your boy Papa Swolio back with some more nuts on your chin. You missed the salty sound.
You can do anything with your YouTube persona. Why be this?
Didn't you? Didn't you now? Enjoy the beard, admire the beard while it's still here, because Mama Swolio's about to clean this mess up. I gotta be looking fresh for F your resolution.
If Hannah leaves with Baja, does that mean Hannah and Jake channel is done with content? No. I mean, first of all, I'm only going to be moving like an hour and a half away from where we are now. I'm still going to see Jake, you know, and I'll drive down for D&D occasionally, although a lot of the time I think I probably do it over the internet. But remember, Jake lived in Idaho for like a year and a half or 2 years, and we still did videos. We'll just do videos over the internet like we have during COVID anyway. Burger's Wonderful World, thank you for following. Is it planned when the professor will die, or is it just when the professor happens to die and they resurrect, they're a different person? Yeah. We don't plan it. It's just when it happens, it happens. We're on Professor 3, which is technically the professor's 4th body, since the first professor wasn't the professor, it was just Max, who is in the prequel campaign that I run, which we haven't done in almost a year, which makes me sad, but hopefully we'll get to do that at some point.
Season, because it is upon us. I'm excited. Q4, we're coming up strong. 2020 was a hot mess, but we're about to take it up a notch. Swole Fam is crushing it. So all of you watching it that are part of the Swole Fam, drop that hashtag down below. Hashtag Swole Fam to represent the greatest community in the realm. You want to join the Swole Fam? Check out swolenormousx.com. Got some free downloads, try a free class, and join the best fam in the realm.
The professor narrowly avoided drowning the other night. Oh, that entire session was embarrassing on our part. We really dropped the ball on that one. Join us. When you join, you get a free beard included. Ladies too. So exciting. So a lot of you are aware of YouTube's new policies. If you're posting content, do not post content on YouTube if it fits any of the descriptions noted below. Namely, for this video, eating disorders. Content that praises, glorifies, or encourages viewers to imitate anorexia or other eating disorders. You can't list binge eating because it'll be obvious. They don't list mukbangs. They don't say mukbangs. They don't say binge eating. They just say anorexia because starving yourself is not good. But they don't want to actually say binge eating. They don't want to actually say food challenges because they would be black and white hypocrites. But right now, they're just straight hypocrites, okay? I don't know about that. I feel like there's a difference, pathologically speaking, between someone who has an eating disorder, and I'm speaking about this as a layman. Do not take any of this as any sort of authoritative anything. I feel like there's a difference between someone who has an eating disorder where they're like anorexic or bulimic, or someone who just occasionally does mukbang videos and maybe overeats a little bit. Like, if that's an eating disorder, 90% of people in America on Thanksgiving have an eating disorder. You know what I mean? Like, if it's something you do very rarely and you're doing it for a video, especially someone who does a mukbang in a healthy way and they have other people around to do it and they don't eat, you know, the entirety of everything they get, I think that's fine. Again, like I said, I do think there are some channels that do mukbangs, like, regularly as their thing, and that some of those people clearly have an unhealthy relationship with food, and that's something that could be addressed, but that's not the case in every single case. And trying to paint all mukbang videos like they are videos about eating disorders is not helping the situation. If you think there are certain channels that are promoting unhealthy eating disorders, like binge eating, because it's an eating disorder if you have uncontrollable, like, food intake, then talk about those channels specifically. Don't just assume that every single mukbang video on the planet is about an eating disorder, because it's not.
Make it a little bit gray area so they can just enact the law or their rules whenever they feel like it, because they're making bank off all of these creators. Eating disorders are characterized by abnormal or disturbed eating habits which negatively affect a person's health, including eating non-food items. So this person in particular is someone who I have made many videos about. Extra Thirsties, Nuts on Chin. He has several of those chins himself. This is the infamous Nikocado Avocado. Now, I know a lot of you are upset to know that Nikocado can no longer post mukbangs. I'm sorry, it's over. Nikocado's run, his millions of followers, he's done. His channel is finished. You read the YouTube creator rules. It's done.
Let me see what it says specifically. Eating disorders, content that praises, glorifies, or encourages viewers to imitate anorexia or other eating disorders. Eating disorders are characterized by abnormal or disturbed eating habits which negatively affect a person's health, including eating non-food items. Right. So if you see a channel that you think is encouraging unhealthy eating to the point that it is a disorder, and you think that they are binge eating and they are promoting that as something in their videos, then report that. And if YouTube thinks it's wrong, then yeah, they'll remove it. But that doesn't make every single mukbang video that. Although I assume and hope he's going to talk about a specific channel here. Although, again, I'm not here to call people out. I don't know a whole bunch about the mukbang community. I just know I have seen several videos on people who do take it too far and clearly have an unhealthy relationship with food that they are portraying on their videos regularly, which I don't think is super helpful or healthy to show to especially younger kids.
Oh wait, 10,000 calorie challenge completed 1 day ago.
Yeah, that's bad. Don't eat 10,000 calories. Oh my god. I don't even know. I would say that would constipate you, but like, I don't even think that's physically possible. Your body would just like expel it all. That's like probably jelly juice levels of diarrhea. Don't eat 10,000 calories in a day, fam.
We'll complete the 10,000 calorie challenge.
Even at my worst, when I was both binge eating and a severe alcoholic that was drinking like a fifth of vodka a day. Yeah, which is a lot of calories. Even then, I don't think I was like eating 10,000 calories. You would have to make such a concerted effort and hurt yourself physically in order to do that. That's not good.
Interesting.
Andrew Dickerson, it's not a disorder, it's a relationship with food.
219,000 views.
It is. It's an unhealthy, and I called it that earlier. I've talked about how I, in many ways, have an unhealthy relationship with food, but having an unhealthy relationship food can also be a disorder, depending on what it is.
Things just got worse.
The other one is Chuddy. The other one is Chuddy Moore. He talks about victims, SJWs, and I want to shout out this channel, which is healthy. Okay.
Mukbang 14 hours ago on one of his many channels, and it shows Orlin throwing something in his face.
MMO addicted, there's a huge difference. I'm a glutton and I love eating, but it's different than when I had steroids, which messed with my appetite and made me actually have an unhealthy appetite, where I was full to the point I'd puke, but still was a feeling of starving. It's completely different. In the first situation, I'm in control, and the second, I was literally crying due to helplessness. Yeah.
And it shows McDonald's. So you got a picture, you got donuts, you got fried chicken, you got McDonald's, literally all the cesspool crap that we do not need people eating more of. People are fatter than ever. Obesity is killing people left and right. Everyone's justifying obesity. You have the woke mob that keeps on spreading this fat acceptance nonsense.
I don't think people are... There are going to be some people in any group that are going to justify certain unhealthy behaviors. On the whole, I find that when we're talking about body positivity movements, we're more talking about the fact that you shouldn't... How do I put this? If someone is overweight, right? Just being like, hey, fatty, maybe eat less food. That's not helpful. That's not constructive. It's not going to get them to change their behavior. Shaming someone out of a behavior is not an effective way to get them to actually change what they do on a day-to-day basis. If we want to talk about healthy eating, then we need to talk about it in a constructive manner, right? And again, I understand it's hard to lose weight. I've done it multiple times, and I haven't been able to stick to it many times in the past. At my lowest, I was down to like 140 something. Let me see if I can get my... Can we crowdfund this guy a shirt? Let me get my MyFitnessPal so I can show you guys my weight thing, because it's absolutely nuts over the last like 5 years. Oh. So let's see. I was around... Can you see this? I don't know how well it's going to show up. So I was a little over 200, and then over the course of like 6 months to a year, I got down to like 150. Then I slowly got back up, lost again, and then over the last... Oh boy. When is that? I don't know, probably over the last 5 years or so, I gained a whole bunch of weight, and now I'm in the process of losing again, and I don't think I've updated my weight on here in a bit, but as of now, I'm down about 30 pounds from the height of my weight. Like, weight loss can be difficult for a lot of people, because a lot of the unhealthy behaviors aren't just things that we're deciding to do. I mean, there's an element of course, you're deciding to do it, but also there's impulse control issues, which is something that you have to actually address. Ideally with someone like a therapist who's going to be able to give you coping mechanisms in order to do that. So, the thing about body positivity movements is I agree we shouldn't be encouraging people and saying, like, if your BMI is, like, dangerously high, oh, it's fine, don't worry about it. Because, no, you should. You should want to be a healthy individual and work towards goals of being healthy. But, like, when we're talking about body positivity, it's like, but yeah, also, if someone is overweight, calling them awful names isn't gonna help, right? Like, you need to address them on a constructive level, and that's not what a lot of people do. Keir Thin, body positivity isn't about glorifying obesity, it's about recognizing that overweight people are humans and deserve to be treated as such. Yeah, basically.
Being inundated with mediocrity. Fam, we have to bring back excelling into popularity. Trying to do better for yourself, encouraging better from other people, trying to win, trying to exceed your own personal expectations. Go for that goal. We need to start bringing that back into popularity because 8th place trophies are getting fucking old and it's weakening our country. We know that the millennials are absolutely fucked. We could...
How old is this guy? This guy looks like he's millennial age. Millennials are in their, like, mid-30s. What do you think a millennial is? Does he mean Gen Z? I hate what... That's a pet peeve of mine, when people just think millennial means, like, someone who's, like, 15. No, that's Gen Z, bud. You look like a millennial. You're in your mid-30s, you're probably a millennial. MMO addicted with 10 bits. I'm down to 230 from 330 a bit over a year ago after those steroids effed me up. COVID messes me up a bit because gym is closed and I can't buy any equipment, all sold out.
There's nothing
well,
funny about the tools of
good for you.
capitalism.
100 pounds. That's bonkers. That's amazing. Good for you. Oh, God. No thanks, Lord of Patriarchy. Go set your clocks. I'm good. Winch Chanter with 10 bits. Hannah, Lord of Clocks, is in the chat and asking to talk to you. Yeah, I see that.
You can see it every single day in the news, but what about the future? What about their kids? Woo! You think it's bad now. It's getting worse and worse. I see it on TikTok. Every single app is so completely SJW, it is out of control. The sensitivity is off the charts, but we're not stopping. Going hard. Going hard, fam, like we always do. But a lot of the uncensored content, a lot of the real raw shit that Papa's laying down is exclusively inside Swole TV. So if you want to learn more, check out the Swole fam down below, swolenormousx.com.
Oh, God, this guy's whole thing is kind of embarrassing, too. Oh, God, let's count the American flags. 1, he's got one on this t-shirt, and he's got one on this wall. 3 American flags. Hooray.
Also, you can just go right to it, swole.tv, and learn more about what you get inside Swole TV. Pretty damn sweet. So let's take a look. We're actually going to go...
MMO Addicted says, for reference, before the steroids I was at 175. I gained literally 180 pounds in a couple of months, and I have stretch marks from it, and use cream for pregnant mothers to make them less prominent. Yeah, I've used cream like that too. I need to more, especially as I'm losing weight. Antipodian Squid with 100 bits. You know, Lord of Patriarchy for not caring. You know, Lord of Patriarchy for not caring as much as you do. You do seem to care an awful lot to show up in stream chat, says Antipodian Squid. Antipodian said that, not me. Tucker White 94. Hannah, help me because I'm drunk. What the hell am I watching right now? It's 5 o'clock and you're drunk already? It's only 5:09. What time zone are you in? Lord of Patriarchy, what time zone is Tucker White 94 in? Please help. Cold Stare, thanks for gifting a sub to HHHHH9998.
Go back to some of these reactions. I want to show you. Let's take a look. Let's go to that chin cam. Let's see what Chinston Churchill's up to.
Okay, bud, this is what I'm talking about here. You don't have an actual concern for these people's health. Because if you did, you would be talking to them on some, like, constructive level. Like, hey, this isn't about how you look. Because at the end of the day, if being overweight wasn't unhealthy, it wouldn't matter, right? But it is about health. That's what it's about. You don't call people names because you care about them. What you do is, hey, look, this isn't about how you look. This is about your health. And currently, the amount of food you're eating is unhealthy and it's going to end up shortening your lifespan, and we want you to be healthy. So in order to do that, we should get you on a healthier lifestyle. Like, the fact that you're just calling these people names tells me everything I need to know about how you feel about them. You don't care about their health. You don't care about even the actual, like, the actual example they're setting for their fans. You just want to make fun of people that you think are lesser than yourself because of their weight. Even though many people with weight issues struggle with that for reasons. People don't just usually binge eat and have an unhealthy relationship with food and have eating disorders in which they don't know when to stop, just in a vacuum. People usually have those issues as coping mechanisms for something else. And that doesn't make those problems not an issue, but it does mean that you need to solve the root of those issues before you just start saying, like, oh, just stop doing this coping mechanism. All right, well, then you need to replace that with some other healthier coping mechanism, or you need to deal with whatever thing is causing you to feel the need to cope in the first place.
Shall we? I can't wait to...
318.4 pounds.
300...
We are going to be doing the 10,000 calorie challenge.
Bro, you're 318 fucking pounds, bro.
I have 50 delicious...
Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna be mean to you, because, you know, you're in chat. And no one be mean to Lord of Patriarchy either. He's just in chat. He's not doing anything. I'm not really a debate person. I don't like doing debates. You're definitely gonna want to talk to Jake about that if you want to do that. I'm sure Jake would do it. He loves that shit. He absolutely loves debate. I don't. I don't find it to be a productive exercise. How did mukbang become a thing? I think it started in Japan. It was like a Japan thing, and then eventually it came to the US. And the thing is, in Japan, like, you know, people are getting smaller portion sizes in the first place. Oh, Korean, I'm sorry, it's Korean. I apologize. Same in Korea, though. Smaller portion sizes, you're probably dealing with leaner stuff than you will in the United States. And then, of course, that exported to the United States, and it ends up with people, you know, going to, like in this picture, Dunkin' Donuts and Burger King and McDonald's and getting ginormous, like, portion sizes of greasy, fatty meats. And it's not healthy. It isn't generally healthy. And again, if it's something you're doing where, like, if you're doing it for a video and you're not worried about all the waste, although it is very wasteful, and you just say, okay, I just want to try one of everything on In-N-Out's menu, and you just take a bite of the burger and you set it down, and you either have friends over and they eat the rest of the food, which would be a good way to do it so you're not wasting and you're not overeating. But there's some people who do sit down and they eat, like, you know, thousands and thousands of calories in one sitting, and that's really, really not good. MMO Addicted, generally a proper mukbang is like a sampling menu, small portions of many dishes, and eat for taste, not quantity. Yeah, I agree. Oro the villain. Though I think everyone should strive to be healthy, body shaming has not and will never work. Stop being a dick under the pretense that you are saving someone you aren't. Yeah, that's basically where I am on it. Like, this dude, if he genuinely cared about these people, he would be talking in a way of like, hey, man, this is not healthy for you. You shouldn't do this. And if you want to talk about this and you want to learn more about a healthy lifestyle, you can do this, 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 and that. There are these resources, whatever. And that's perfectly fair. I don't think there's anything wrong with seeing someone doing something unhealthy, especially if they're doing it in front of other people who are going to be influenced by their decisions, and saying, hey, we should do some constructive stuff and help you out. It's the same thing with people who smoke, right? Like, you might want to talk to that person and be like, hey, you know, that's really not good for you. It would be great if you would stop. It would expand your life. It would be really, really good, you know? But if I walk up to someone who smokes and says, hey, you dirty ashtray person, what is wrong with you? Like, they're going to shut down immediately, and they're not going to be receptive to any of the things that you have to say. This guy doesn't care about these people that he's, you know, talking about. He just cares about making himself look superior. And yeah, this guy's in shape. I agree. This guy's in shape. Good for him. I'm glad this guy eats healthy and exercises, and that's awesome. But he's a dick, right? So, maybe fix that.
Looking donut.
Oh my god.
Chocolate and powdered and cream-filled jelly.
All right, pause. All those donuts, they're all the same. Just sugar. It's just sugar formed and compacted. He just showed you. Look at that.
Yeah, donuts are dough and sugar, typically. Yeah.
Everything on the fucking table. Look at everything. It's all the same color. It's a brown.
Again, there's so many things to criticize in this video, but that's a very stupid one. Yeah, some foods are brown. The brown isn't what makes them bad. The bad is that they're like really fatty and really, really high in calorie density.
Different shades of brown. God, this is disgusting.
I said bam. And I said, where with my chopsticks? And I'm so upset. I hate being this fat. Excuse me.
Oh my god, he looks...
I'm allergic.
Look at his fucking neck.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Random invite. But Hannah, consider that flavor and color are exactly the same, thus fried dough and chicken taste exactly the same.
This is really hard.
Jesus Christ. He is a disgusting human being.
I'm pretty sure the dude's leaning into that as an intentional bit, but like, yeah, I don't find this to be healthy at all. I agree. And if YouTube wanted to step in and be like, hey, this isn't cool, man, maybe don't do this, I'd understand. But you just calling him disgusting is not going to help the situation. It's clear you're just in this for getting views, and that's fine if that works out for you. If that's your grift, that's your grift. Far be it from me to stop a man grifting with his shirt off, but don't act like you care about this person when you don't. Tucker White 94 with 10 bits. Hannah, I hate you for showing us this. Now I crave some donuts, but I'm too drunk to drive. DoorDash is a thing? But why, again, it's like 5 o'clock. Why are you drunk already? I really hope you're in a time zone where it's later in the day.
There's nothing funny about the tools of
Still more fun than watching Suburban Nights? True. In this, I don't have to see Doug Walker's balls, so...
Pause. Let's check out this YouTube policy again. Eating disorders, content that praises, glorifies, or encourages viewers to imitate anorexia or other eating disorders.
Then report the video. I agree that this video is pretty gross and that it probably promotes unhealthy things. Report it. That's all you can do.
Disorders are characterized by abnormal or disturbed eating habits, which negatively affect a person's health. Look at this guy's table. Do you think this is disordered eating? It's okay. It's allowed to get hundreds of thousands of views and get monetized. Banking hard, bro. Make that money.
You guys, my underwear is getting tighter and tighter. I'm getting so overweight.
Looks like Jabba the Hutt. Look how bloated his face is.
A poopy all over the toilet seat. It smells like baby poop.
The only skinny part of your arm are your fingers, and they're not even skinny.
I hate when you do that with your legs.
Look at his, he doesn't have a neck. Where'd your neck go, bro? Where'd your neck go?
Careful with those noodles. Shut up, being back in a hurry. People are sleeping. Go shit yourself. You shit yourself.
Oh, these are just. Oh, is there cheese in there?
Yes, I do. I love cheese.
Oh, looks like curdled cum.
The fact that cheese on pasta makes him gag is kind of funny to me. Like, the amount, I agree, is ridiculous, but like, dude, they're just putting cheese on pasta. Why is that making you gag?
I'm sweating. Ooh.
If you sweat when you eat, you have an eating disorder.
Find another YouTuber who posts 50 videos a month. It's gonna take a long time to find one.
Obviously, quality content has nothing to do with it. Uncensored version. Look at me. Pay attention to me. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, what can we learn from that absolute hot mess? That violates absolutely everything in that YouTube policy. There is nothing in that YouTube policy that doesn't absolutely just literally shit on.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I would agree that a mukbang video like that probably falls into the category of like promoting unhealthy eating. I don't disagree. I do disagree with how he's going about this and characterizing this and like being an asshole, basically, which I don't think is helpful. Like, if he went about this in like a more caring way and he's like, this is unhealthy, please go report this video, you know, because it's promoting unhealthy lifestyles. But the fact that he's like calling them names and stuff, it's not helpful. It's not helpful at all.
About is blowing up the toilet. He's just fucking engorging and binge eating food. This is the definition of an eating disorder. This is the definition of breaking this creator rule. But of course, YouTube doesn't care if creators break the rules if it makes them enough money. That's all it is. We allow this to thrive when our country and increasingly our world is getting sicker and sicker. We're dying from preventable shit. We have things so fucking good in this country that we're getting upset.
Yeah, Lord of Patriarchy, you're definitely downplaying. And again, I didn't see the video because I don't really watch your content, but like literally the only content I've seen is the videos you made in response to Jake and the one you made in response to me. But I was told by Baha, who's my girlfriend, that you like made really sexual comments about Shu. Pretty sure that's why it got struck.
Getting upset. We're trying to create challenge because we don't have challenges. We have things so fucking amazing. We have to get fat. We have to create some kind of hurdle to overcome. We have to try to overcome diabetes because we got nothing better to do. We got no passion. We have no purpose. We have no direction. I might as well just inject and mainline sugar into my face hole.
And people in the chat are literally saying they saw the video and that you said gross things about Shu. So, nah, not gonna buy that one, bud.
This is a drug addiction. This is someone who is addicted to attention, to money, to the food. It's sick. Remember all that bullshit with him trying to get to 300 pounds? Now he's 318. Where's it gonna go? Where's it gonna go? He looks disgusting. And that's straight from a health standpoint. So all of you fat acceptance people, they're like, oh, you could be healthy at every size. Really? Does he look healthy? Does Nico Cotto look healthy? These arguments fall flat. They're worthless. Stop trying to virtue signal. Stop trying to lie to yourself. This is a disgusting way to live, and I certainly won't stand for it on my channel. So whether or not YouTube wants to recommend my videos to anyone, they certainly fucking don't, because they don't like the truth getting out there. They don't want anyone actually talking about proper health because, well, that's not enough shock value. Unless you're fucking your face with pure sugar. Hey, It's boring. It's boring. People don't want real content. People don't want the truth anymore. They just want to go into their fantasy land and pretend like these issues aren't gonna bite them in the fucking ass.
I think some people just watch the video because they find it funny. That's why. I think you're overblowing this into like, this is the fall of civilization. Human beings are not watching entertaining videos. They're watching people eat things on the internet. Yeah, that's not a new thing. We literally watched a video a little bit ago from 2011, which is 9 years ago now, that was similarly eating a big gross thing of food. People like watching people eat gross stuff. People like watching people eat weird stuff. Look at Fear Factor from the early 2000s. This is not a new concept.
Well, they will. This guy looks like he's been stung by a million bees.
People watch
He's
Nico
more
to
bloated
make
than
fun
ever.
of him in
It's
the
gonna lead to his
comments,
early
probably.
death, hands down. Congratulations, you two, for
honestly, then the Nico guy that he's showing in that video in particular seems like he gets that. And I imagine, what's the guy's full name? Did he have a link in the chat?
promoting.
I imagine he's making a lot of money doing it. Like, and again, Nikado Avocado. Nikado Avocado. It kind of seems like he's playing into the, like, I'm disgusting, watch me eat things and make gross comments about my poop. And it seems to be working out for him in terms of, like, look, he's got 2.15 million subscribers. Let's check out this dude's Social Blade. I'm just really, really curious. Social Blade. Wow, he's got a bunch of channels, too. He's making between 23,000 and 377,000 in yearly earnings. 2,000 to 31 in monthly earnings. That's pretty darn good. That's pretty darn good. To act silly on YouTube and make yourself out to be, you know, I don't know. I agree it's promoting unhealthy stuff, but I kind of feel like the guy we were watching also doesn't get that he's playing into people's perception of himself in order to get them to hate click, which is a strategy you can do on YouTube. Social Blade, does trash it income? It depends. I've been on YouTube for like 8 years on the Hannah and Jake channel. Used to be Hugo and Jake, and used to be The Bible Reloaded even before that. There were times when it lined up pretty well, but there were also times when it's really off. It really just depends. It's gotten worse since demonetization became such a big thing, because it becomes hard for, you know, websites like Social Blade to determine are a lot of their videos demonetized or not. Back way before this, a long, long time ago, before the demonetization was such a common thing and you can get basically any video monetized on YouTube, which was great, by the way. It was relatively accurate, but it's gotten very, very inaccurate in the past couple years. Anyway, let's see what we're going to do next. Let me set up a new poll. I'm going to set up a poll for what's next. Let's see, we have Flat Earth. We have whatever Cancel Con is that I heard is pretty cringe. Ghosts. Public domain stuff. Domain. And weird 60s game show. Okay, there's the poll. Vote on what video you want us to cover next. Oh god, Cancel Con is up there in terms of... Oh god, I'm gonna have to skim through this because it's 2 hours long. If it wins. It's close between the 60s game show and Cancel Con. Ooh, it's very close. 36% to 32%. Make sure you vote. Cancel Con. Oh god. Okay, Cancel Con wins. All right. Are there like highlights that I can see from Cancel Con? Okay, we'll just skim through. I don't know how far into this it's gonna start. Let's hold the... God damn, how long does it take for them to get started?
That's right, capitalism up again.
No Gapties, thank you. No Gaps. Thank you for following.
It's the bias response team. If you've been offended, your feelings must be defended. Freedom of expression is a...
Don't you love when people on the right's joke is that, haha, the left cares about other people's feelings. Haha, they should have no empathy like myself.
Comes Antifa Freddy. He's always ready to fight fascism.
Nothing funny about capitalism.
Is fascism when you smash windows, people? That's what fascism is, right?
Starbucks windows don't stand a chance.
MMO Addicted. Bah, they reopened schools too soon and we're up to 4,000 from 150 cases a day. Yeah, that'll do it. Antifa Freddy. Honestly, can Antifa Freddy please become a real thing? Can that become a meme? I like me some Antifa Freddy.
He's a systematic racism finder.
Oh no, people actually call me out when I say racist things. They just see racism everywhere. Sure.
Using the powers of screaming and shame, they win every debate by calling your name.
Oh boy, I wish shame worked. If people on the right had the empathy and dignity to care about how they're viewed by others, then shaming would actually work like a normal human being. MMO Addicted with 10 bits. I can't wait for the porn of Antifa Freddy. Yes, please. Antifa Freddy Rule 34, please. His dick should just be like a baseball bat. Like a literal wooden baseball bat that he can just smash windows with.
They're heroes who think that they're victims. Social justice warriors.
I think I've heard more people on the right made jokes about the left being triggered than I've ever heard anyone actually say they're triggered in an unironic context. Like, ever. And this, too. This is friggin' amazing. The Statue of Liberty has been silenced. I agree in the sense that, you know, if the Statue of Liberty had a voice, it'd be like, bring me your starving, your huddled masses. And the right's like, shut up, we don't want to think about that part of American history.
Nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Windchanter. What is Cancel Con? I need context. It's some right-wing thing, I think. They're like, oh, we've been canceled, so we're gonna do a Cancel Con. Oh god, it's Dennis Prager. I saw him in the up Dennis. Oh no! Yeah! Oh god, Adam Carolla. Dave Rubin, Ben Sharipo.
All right, people of the internet, this is Cancel Con.
Oh god, this is gonna be so cringe. Ooh, look at that like to dislike ratio. Good job, internet.
I'm Dave Rubin, alongside Dennis Prager, Adam Carolla, and Ben Shapiro. You might have heard of these people, possibly, maybe. What we're doing today is a live stream.
Whoever voted for this with that lineup, I love you. Says Antipodian Squid. I don't know about that. Oro the villain, threatening property that is based on wealth and land that was stolen from Africa and Native Americans is not fascism. Says Oro the villain, if I didn't say.
To talk about the No Safe Spaces movie, but more broadly, to talk about the thing that we're kind of all talking about all the time, and I don't mean just the four of us, I mean everybody really in the United States and all over the world. This crushing attack on free speech that you guys
I said the N-word, and now people on Twitter don't want to buy my products. Cancel culture has gone too far.
Not only in the college...
It's hilarious to me that the right, like, is like, oh, cancel culture's out of hand. But also, like, when Gillette makes an ad that's like, hey, maybe don't be toxic. They go like, we're never buying Gillette razors again. And oh my God, Nike hired Colin Kaepernick, so we're going to burn our Nikes. And oh my God, the Dixie Chicks said the Iraq war is bad. We better cancel the Dixie Chicks. Cancel culture is a weird way to just say the market doesn't want to deal with your bullshit. We live in a free market society, friendo. If you do something that pisses people off, don't be surprised when they don't want to engage with you as either an actor, performer, or if you have a product or something like you're a company. There's several pieces of poop on your screen. Is that TOS friendly? This is literally this, says MMO Addicted.
Hail, brothers!
Funny.
Campus situation, but all over, in the corporate world, in academia, now in our political world, in the cultural sphere, everywhere, everyone seems to be afraid to say what they think, and
No, they're not. Say what you think. But then when the free market of ideas tells you, hey, you're an a-hole and your opinions are toxic, then that's the answer you get from the market. Why? You can't be like, oh, the free marketplace of ideas, yay. And then when the marketplace of ideas tells you, that's really stupid, and the thing you're saying might also be racist, you go, cancel culture! Children.
Found, I think, the last three guys who aren't afraid to say what they think. Gentlemen.
I wish Ben Shapiro was afraid to say what he thought. And Dennis Prager and Dave Rubin. I don't think anyone's cared what Adam Carolla has said for about 20 years, so who cares?
Say something controversial right up top. Dennis, what's the most controversial thing that one can say these days?
The most controversial thing? I'll tell you.
He's gonna say, like, I love America. It's controversial for me to say I love America, and it's the greatest country in the world. It's gonna be some stupid bullshit like that. Calling it right now. MMO Addicted with 10 bits. I mean, the left has a problem with overt purity testing and gatekeeping, but most of the cases that people like that call cancel culture are bullshit. Sure, that's a different thing, though. Like, purity testing in regard to people on the left isn't the same thing that people on the right call cancel culture. I agree that purity testing on the left shoots the left in the foot a lot, but it's not the same thing as what the right calls cancel culture.
America is a great country.
He literally said, they're so predictable. Dennis, you're allowed to say America's a great country if you want. I don't care. That's fine. But then also, other people are allowed to say, hey, here are problems with America. You can enjoy your country, and this, I think, just confounds people like this. You can like your country and also recognize it has deep-seated issues that need to be dealt with. The two are not incompatible with each other.
I love America. Those are two of the most controversial things one can say. Lincoln was a great man. In other words, any obvious moral statement.
Yes. When people say Lincoln was a great man, all we hear is a crowd of voices saying, but no! For reasons! And you can have, like, a nuanced view of Lincoln. Like, having a nuanced view of a historical person because they're a real human being and not some fictional storybook character is the adult thing to do. I can both say, wow, Abraham Lincoln did great things for this country, and also say, he certainly was a man of his time. He definitely didn't think black people were the same as white people. He has some comments in regard to that. He also suspended habeas corpus. Like, Lincoln did some messed up stuff, but you can absolutely say, like, wow, Lincoln's one of the most influential and best presidents we've ever had. If you feel that way, that's fine. I don't care. But I also think it's the adult thing to do to have a nuanced view of historical characters. Wind Chanter with 30 bits. I am in love with my country. That's why I want to change it for the better. Yeah. Conservatives, and I've used this metaphor before, but conservatives view America and love it like they're a 3-year-old and that America is their mommy. Mommy can do no wrong. They're the most perfect, amazing person ever, and they're perfect, and there's nothing else to be said about that. Whereas people on the left tend to, like, love America as, like, a spouse, a partner, someone who, like, you view as a 3-dimensional human being who, like, you care about and want to make better through your relationship with each other. Like, that's a more adult way of viewing your relationship with your country. Not just being like, it's my country, so it's the best, but being like, oh, wow, okay, so I'm part of a country, especially in a country where we have representative democracy. So my voice has a meaning here in this country through my vote and through public opinion as a whole. What are the problems that our country has? Because never in the history of the world, even if you love America and think it's a great country, never in the history of the world has there ever been such a thing as a perfect country that functions perfectly all the time. So you can look at injustices or things that you just think could work better in the country, and then you criticize and work to change those things. Acting like America's done, it's cooked, it's ready to come out of the oven, and it never needs any change, is juvenile and ignorant. Random invite. Wait, something can be great and have room for improvement? Heretic. Indeed I am. MMO addicted with 10 bits. There's a proverb here that doesn't translate well, but it goes like this. Patriotism is not my country above all. It's me doing all I can to make it better. Yeah.
Statement regarding the U.S. is controversial. That's how bad things are.
Are you telling me that America was not founded on racism and bigotry and evil?
You know, I wonder...
Straw man argument, Dave. When people are talking about the founding of this country, it's a discussion of great, in many ways, hypocrisy. Because, well, the founding fathers, who, by the way, I'm not going to deify. A lot of people on the right tend to deify the founding fathers. You can talk about them and say, wow, they had a lot of great ideas, but also recognizing that they're human beings. A lot of their ideas were founded in Enlightenment values that believed that liberty was an inalienable right, that each individual person was equal by just the fact that they exist and they are a human being with thoughts and feelings, right? And that's a great value. And I agree that that value in and of itself is something that should be at the core of American ideology. But when we talk about that in regard to the founding fathers, you also have to contend with the very real reality that they did not live up to those very ideals. Most of the people who signed the Constitution, or who ratified the Constitution, many of them were slave owners, right? Part of the Constitution at the time, the 3/5 Compromise, literally was about having people enslaved, but also counting them towards the citizenry in regard to the House of Representatives. Like, you have to discuss these things if you're having an adult conversation about the founding of our country. It's these contradictions, right? We believe in liberty and justice for all, but also women can't vote, and black people are slaves. Like, you gotta talk about that. You can't just be like, yay, everything was great after 1789 when the Constitution was ratified. Hooray, America! Because that's not what happened. That wasn't the American experience of a huge swath of the population. It just wasn't. Do
I look at you or the camera? I love looking at you.
Look at me. Look at me for a second, for God's sakes.
So, I always wonder of the many millions of slaves who came from Africa to the Western Hemisphere, right, North and South America. 3% came to the United States. About 340,000 versus, let's say, 12 million to Brazil.
Hey, bud, the reason that it slowed down in terms of importation of slaves is because America did a thing where instead of expensively importing slaves from Africa, and by the way, saying that only 3% of the millions of slaves that were transported were going to America, not a great argument. Like, imagine if I was like, by the way, on 9/11, the deaths on 9/11 were a very small percentage of the people who actually died on the 11th of September, so why should you care? It's a stupid argument. And secondly, like I was saying, importing slaves from other countries was very expensive. So what they ended up doing was having their slaves, and I say this way because this is how it was, they had their slaves mate to create more slaves. There were literally, oh god, this is in the book Roots, too. One of the ways that Alex Haley traced, who wrote the book Roots, if you haven't either read it or seen the movie adaptations, the way he traced his ancestry back so far was he found someone who owned his family, and then they had a journal, an old journal, that was for tracing two things: lineages of horses that they were breeding and lineages of slaves. Slave owners would have slaves mate selectively in order to create more slaves for the plantation. It was disgusting. So the reason that the actual importation of slaves went down over time, even though slavery was a thing until after the Civil War, is because in the United States, slave breeding was a huge business in and of itself. It's really messed up. Iron Q-Bolt. Prager is also deliberately only counting West African slaves. Yeah. Is he gonna play? Oh, muted.
Don't you wonder, why doesn't the left hate Brazil? We got 3% of the Africans who came here, plus in the last 30 years, 3 million Africans, 3 million blacks have come here, 1 million...
Maybe don't use that, maybe don't say it like that, bud.
From the Caribbean, 2 million from Africa, because they know how good it is for a black to live here.
First of all, phrasing. Second of all, the thing about that, bud, is that those people came consensually and freely. Freely being the opportune word. They came here, and they weren't in shackles, and when they got here, they weren't forced to go and, like, work in someone's farm field for free for the rest of their life, and then also have the guarantee that their children will be doing the same for the next 300 years. Not the same thing. The word false equivalence doesn't even apply. It's so ridiculous.
So you have to live in a world of lies to accept this depiction of America.
Literally, he's saying here, boy, we sure did enslave Africans and then African Americans for centuries, but boy, they sure should thank us because eventually they were free, and then when they were free, they were in America, the greatest country on earth. Hold for applause. You think Adam Carolla in this moment is going like, oh no, I shouldn't have signed up for this.
Adam, he said that America's good. That was the short version. Can you possibly come up with something more controversial than that? I mean, come on, man.
Well, what no one really wants to hear is you'll either do well here or you won't do well here, and that'll be up to you.
Don't worry, guys. Millionaire Adam Carolla is going to let you know that if you're poor, it's actually your fault. And there are no systemic issues, and everything is your own fault. Don't worry about it. He knows. He has a bunch of money. Random invite with 10 bits. There's a clip from this with him telling a pretty racist joke, Hannah. I think he knows what he got involved in. Okay, I haven't seen this yet.
The playing field is fairly level, certainly level enough in almost 2021. And it'll never be completely level. It can't be completely level. People that are short have a slight disadvantage. People who are born to this type of family or missing a father in the home, for instance. But this is about as level a society as you can ever have.
Gross. How about this, Adam? How about we provide opportunities for people like college education that is usually gated off to people due to expenses or not being able to get college loans? That'd be good. Not putting people in debt due to trying to better themselves for both themselves and society. That would be a good step. How about providing health care to people? That would help make sure that people have the opportunity to live life in a healthy and productive way. How about that? Weird.
And thus, it is up to you. Now, the people hate that story. Well, you know who hates that story? Children. Children hate that story. Like when you go, hey, if you're getting a bad grade, it's not because the teacher hates you, it's because you're not working hard enough. But now we're dealing with adult children everywhere you look. And this
man got famous doing a show that's entire thing was, I have a penis. Look at these women on bikinis jumping on trampolines. And he's calling other people adult children. Interesting take.
All it is. It's basically taking adolescence and dragging it up into adulthood. And sadly,
There's nothing that grates on me more than some rich asshole who doesn't recognize that, even though I'm sure there are plenty of wealthy people like Adam Carolla. I don't necessarily know that his family was wealthy. I don't think they were. I think he was probably a stand-up comedian that had some sort of talent, at least in the sense that someone found him funny. I don't, but that's fine. There are plenty of comedians that not everyone finds funny. And then he was able to get on something like The Man Show, and he got popular, and he was able to raise money that way. And then he had the capital. He probably has investments and stuff, and that's great, and that's fine. Every talented person does not get what they deserve, which is success, right? So if you are successful, not only did you have to apply your talent well, which I'm sure many people do, but there was also a great amount of luck involved, right? So those people end up getting into success, and then once they're there, they're like, well, I just worked hard. I did my hardest. Everyone else should just do the same, and clearly that'll work out exactly the same for them, when that isn't the case. It's a form of survivorship bias, right? You know how many failed stand-up comedians who are probably just as funny or funnier than Adam Carolla that completely bankrupted themselves trying to get, sets to go and work at, like, the Comedy Store or whatever? I'm sure there's a countless number of them. And it's not necessarily because they weren't funny. It's just that things didn't work out for them, right? The idea that all you have to do is work hard is a fairy tale. It's a children's story. The real story is, yes, you need to work hard in order to be successful, but also a lot of the factors of your success are going to be out of your hands. So what we need to do as a society is try and make sure that we mitigate these negative factors that can impact people's success. Things like making sure people have health care so unexpected disease and accidents can't completely ruin their lives. Making sure that people, if they want to become educated, imply a skill to help both themselves and the societies in which they live, whether they want to go be a doctor or a teacher, or even if it's a trade skill and they want to go learn to be a plumber or an electrician, that they have the opportunity to do so easily and freely. I think that's a brilliant thing for society. So we need to be able to mitigate the factors that hinder people from achieving success through their hard work. Whereas now we have a system where you can work as hard as you want, but if you get effed over by some random chance, you're just effed. You're done. You're done. Fail. You fail, and it's no fault of your own. And that's an untenable system. That's not okay.
I talk to people in their 70s who feel this way. My parents are in their 80s, I think they feel this way.
Yeah, Adam Carolla, your parents are baby boomers that were alive during one of the most prosperous periods of any society in human history, and they had union jobs that were in every town where manufacturing was, and you didn't have to have a college education, and wages were higher than they've ever been in American history, and they were able to go and have one person have a job and one person stay at home and watch the kids, and they were able to afford a house and 2 cars, and they were able to go along their merry way and increase, like, their wealth. That's not a thing anymore, Adam. It's just not. Your parents' experiences are going to color their opinions, but their view of how society works today in 2020 is going to be incredibly skewed because they don't have to enter the job market. They don't have to try and get a house in today's market without equity that they've already built for themselves in the past. Like, the idea that America as it exists today exists in the same economic and socioeconomic situation that it did in the 40s, 50s, and 60s is ridiculous. It's not even ignorant, it's just a fantasy.
So, unfortunately, everyone, if you live in this country and you live here during the present time, the onus is on you. If you're not having success, you got to go find a mirror.
So are you saying just because you want something, you can't necessarily have it? Because right now we are in your garage. You've got some pretty sweet cars around here. I mean, I assume that Dennis and Ben and I each can take a car.
Well, most of them have to go back to the prop house before we wrap tonight. Yes, all these cars are things that I've always wanted. I enjoy them now. I loved cars when I was young. I never had any money, so I could never afford to own a car that was nice. As a matter of fact, I work construction, so I was forced to drive a pickup truck.
Do we need to talk about the ethics of someone being so wealthy that while other people literally starve and their children starve and they have no opportunity to help themselves because the social programs that help get people out of poverty in this country have been starved to death by people on the right. Meanwhile, there's someone who, because when they were a kid they couldn't have a car, now they're buying 20 cars. Like, think about that. Society can only accomplish so much at once because there's only so many people working. And this guy, because he has money from doing a stupid stand-up comedy show where ladies would jump on trampolines, which is of great benefit to society, clearly, he's now worked his way into a situation where he can take much more from society than he ever put into it in terms of labor. Like, he has however many cars, and there are people out there who can't get to work because their car broke down 6 months ago, and they haven't been able to afford it. Society is all about allocation of resources. And this guy is taking much more from society than he's putting into it. And I'm not saying the arts and stand-up comedy and stuff like that aren't valuable things in society. They absolutely are. And I would never be in a situation where I would say, like, oh, you know, you're doing this thing that I don't think is valuable to society, so you shouldn't get the bare minimum. No. What I am saying is there is 0% chance that Adam Carolla has done enough in his life to warrant the labor and material value of that many cars on top of his mansion, on top of his other assets. It's just bullshit.
Which is really the opposite of one of these cars. So for me, I thought to myself, well, I like these cars. I'm driving a pickup truck. I got to focus, work harder, get better at what I do, and then one day I can have one of these sports cars.
All right, Shapiro. We got Prager saying America's pretty good. We got Carolla saying that hard work has value. Can you beat either one of those? Come on.
Easily. Are you ready for this? This is so easy. Okay. Men are not women.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God. I did the transphobia. Everyone laugh. Pause for laughter. Did I mention my wife's a doctor?
Oh, well. Okay.
And
Okay,
the
you
stream
asked
has
for
been
it.
cut.
You asked for it. I mean, J.K. Rowling's having her books burned.
Yeah.
Right? The only book any of these people have ever read. Right? They should have read like the Bible or any other.
Ben, I don't know if you've read the Bible past the Old Testament. You're a Jewish fella, which is great. Good for you. But, like, Why are you promoting reading the Bible when it says that you're going to hell, bud? That's pretty weird, right? Read the Bible, libs. I did, Ben. It says you're going to burn for eternity. What? Oro the villain. I'm transphobic. Ha 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 ha. Have you heard my one joke yet? True. True. I have heard the one joke.
Book, as it turns out the only people they only read Harry Potter, and now they are burning the only book they have ever read because
if you care about Harry Potter, it's the only book you've ever read, and it's not because a lot of people have a strong connection to Harry Potter, because as a child, it was a very popular book series that a lot of people connected to on some fundamental level.
Temerity to say that biological sex exists.
This is my least favorite straw man about, like, trans individuals or people on the left talking about trans people like myself. No one is saying biological sex doesn't exist. Ben, my biological sex is male. My gender is female. That's why I'm trans. Do you know what the prefix trans means?
Yeah, this is part of a broader kind of rubric that words have meaning and objective reality exists out.
Words do have meaning. Words that you have failed to understand no matter how many times it's explained to you that gender and sex are different, and the reason that we differentiate is because transgender individuals and non-gender conforming individuals exist. That's a reality. And Ben, I don't know if you've ever heard this tidbit, but facts don't care about your feelings.
Outside of what you wish existed, that your own personal feelings about things actually do not magically take the form of the rest of the world.
I agree, which is why it's weird that you seem to not understand that when we're talking about trans individuals, we're talking about people who are transgender, and that gender is different than sex. This has been explained to you. Yes, Ben, I agree. My biological sex, male. My gender, female. Transgender. I'm transgender. And I agree, Ben, it's not a lot of fun. I would much rather have not been, like, born with my biological sex not matching my, like, inner conception of myself and how I feel about my own body and all that stuff. I agree. It's a pain. Trust me. All the meds, not super fun. They cost money. The operations that I'm going to get down the line cost money. It sucks. As it turns out, it's not something I'm doing for fun. It's something I'm doing because if I didn't do it, I would want to die.
Yeah. And acknowledging that objective reality exists is a tough one. I mean, and this does go to, everything that we're talking about, right? This encompasses, the fact that America is not systemically racist. This encompasses...
Ben. In between Harry Potter and the Bible, you should have picked up a history book. That'd be great.
Is the fact that if you fail in a free country, it's probably your own fault. Not always, but very often it is your own fault if you fail in a free country or you made some bad decisions. And it encompasses the fact that your neighbor is probably not a garbage person. I was talking the other day about the fact that in LA, the only thing that anybody seems to care about is planting these stupid-ass lawn signs that say all of these dumb tautological slogans that mean nothing like what they actually are supposed to mean.
Right, the future is female and also believe in science.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Black Lives Matter, which, again, is inarguable in one context, but that's not what they mean by Black Lives Matter.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Or Water is Life, which I was not confused as to why that was controversial. And women's health, women's rights are human rights, and all this kind of stuff. The implication of that entire sign is that the person who lives next to you is a bad person, right? You're a good person, the person who lives next to you is a bad person.
Ben, no. Usually these signs are about, like, showing support for certain social causes. If I have a sign out in front of my house, which I don't, I'm not big on signs, that says, like, something like Black Lives Matter, it doesn't mean I think my neighbor is a shitbag for not having that.
And it's sort of like this pagan Passover routine, where instead of...
Pagan Passover. Misusing both the terms pagan and the term Passover. Comparing people putting signs for things that they support in their front lawn to smearing lamb's blood on your door in order to save your firstborn from being murdered by Yahweh is some of the most ridiculous hyperbolic speaking I think I've ever heard Ben say, which is saying a lot.
like painting the blood on your lintel. You take one of these Black Lives Matter signs and you plunk it in your front lawn, and then the social justice warriors pass over your house and move on to the next house to burn it in the name of social justice.
No, Ben, it's because people are like, oh, it's the same reason people put bumper stickers on their car, political or otherwise, that like state certain opinions that they hold. It's a thing like, hey, I believe this certain thing. Let me show the world. I also am not a bumper sticker person, unless it's like a joke bumper sticker, or like a, you know, like something like, oh, I put a TARDIS bumper sticker on my car, or a Millennium Falcon thing. But like political bumper stickers, I'm also not a fan of for the same reason. I don't need weird right-wingers key in my car.
The fact is that in objective reality, your neighbor is probably not a bad person. They're probably just as nice a person as you. They're probably a nicer person than you are because they probably don't think that you're a bad person.
It would depend on the neighbor entirely.
And so, you know.
I don't even know my neighbors. Ben, it's 2020. Who the fuck knows their neighbors?
Objective reality doesn't always meet with your approval.
So,
and Podium Squid, Hannah has my other ride is a TARDIS bumper sticker confirmed. I actually don't.
One other thing before we jump to the sponsors. Do you guys think it's odd that we're thought of as controversial? I find it very odd that so many people...
Oh, you are cracking me up. Do you know, just today, this is weird to hear your thoughts played back to you. Just today I was thinking I'd like to write a column. I write a column every week that I'd like to write a column. This is what I believe. Why am I called a right-winger?
That would be because you're Dennis Prager, who is a right-winger, and you espouse right-wing talking points and created an entire YouTube channel to spread said talking points. That would be why.
What I was thinking the entire column, because I thought, you know, I grew up, it's redundant, as a Jew in New York who went to Columbia. By definition, you're a liberal.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, clearly not, because you're not. You're not.
It's redundant to say you're a liberal.
No, it's not. Not if you do nothing but espouse right-wing talking points and advocate for right-wing governmental decision-making.
Her sentence was actually just redundant.
Yeah.
A Jew in New York went to Columbia. The rest of the...
that's correct.
You should have done it.
Quadruply redundant
right there. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I realize everything that I believed when I was a liberal and a Democrat, I still believe. I know you have this totally.
Yeah, I hear you.
Dennis, are you saying that being a liberal 50 years ago and then holding on to those same exact positions for 50, 40, however many years it's been since you were a liberal, and not changing those positions as society changes around you? Yeah, that's what conservatism is. Conservatism is holding on to views that have passed their expiration date. That's kind of the definition. What's considered liberal in one decade is not necessarily considered liberal 50, 40, 30 years in the future. Goalposts move because the zeitgeist of society moves. Like, if you were a liberal in the 1950s, you would not be considered a liberal today, most likely. I'm using liberal as sort of a word for left-wing, when obviously the word for liberal today more means like center-left. But you get what I'm saying. Like, I should use the word progressive. If you were a progressive in the 1950s, you probably would not be considered that by today's standards, because our standards continually improve over time in terms of acceptability and openness and policy making. This is just a right-wing circle jerk, isn't it? Yeah, we're almost done with it. There's no way we're watching this whole thing. We're already 20 minutes in.
And it's every one of those beliefs is now called right-wing. I didn't change. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Thus making you a conservative. Good job knowing the definition of words.
The liberals have accepted the left lie that conservatism is their enemy when leftism is the enemy of liberalism.
Yeah. Carolla, when you were doing the Man Show and comedy and all that stuff, did you ever think of yourself as controversial?
No, I've always just had opinions, and I believe them to be true. And, you know, I formed a lot of my
That's how opinions work, Adam. Good job.
Opinions, because I did a show called Loveline, a syndicated radio show and a TV show, and I spoke every night to screwed up teenagers around the country. And
which is also redundant.
Right, right. Teenagers around the country. But I would, for every night for a decade, I would just hear the problems of 15-year-olds and sort of where they came from. And it was always like, I could tell when the dad wasn't there. I could tell when there was this issue or that issue. At a certain point, you can hear it in their voice. The thing
Adam saying, I'm stereotyping people, and I have no confirmation that my stereotypes were true, but I believe them strongly, and therefore, facts do care about my feelings.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Wing the Ultimate Nug, thank you for subscribing with a 4-month streak.
What's kind of interesting is you can physically hear the tone and almost diagnose what their problem is. And so I formed my opinions long ago just hearing all the screwed up teenagers, all the broken families, all the rebellion, and all the ills of society. And I realized, oh, it all just starts at home. And so I just started saying family.
And Adam, do you recognize that home situations are informed by the society in which those families are? So, like, if we're talking about the African-American community and how there's a higher instance of single mothers, do you understand how that can be informed by the policy-making decisions that are happening in the society in which those people reside? The war on drugs, poverty in general affecting African Americans more so than it does white communities. These things inform family dynamics. I don't know if you know that.
Education, family and education, will cure everything with family and education. And then all of a sudden that became hate speech.
Yeah.
If we're talking about education, I agree that education is important, Adam. We should stop funding schools with property taxes, which benefits white communities over black communities, because, again, statistically, there are more white communities with higher property taxes than black communities because we have systematic issues in this country that have led to black people in this country tending to live in more insular communities with lower property values. Tucker White 94. I like Adam Carolla, but is he just going to leave out how his co-host, Dr. Drew, gave advice to these teens while he took money from pharmaceutical companies to shill certain drugs? I didn't know about that. I haven't even heard that he had some kind of radio show.
Which is, by the way, I said everything I say now into a microphone all through the 90s and early 2000s, and no one said boo.
Yeah. Did sixth grade Ben Shapiro, when he was playing the violin, ever think that it was going to cost $600,000 worth of security to speak at Berkeley, the home of free speech?
I'm a frightening character, and I always have been. So, and as everyone who knows me knows, supremely obnoxious. So I actually did think that there was a high likelihood that would happen, just out of pure.
At least he knows he's obnoxious. That's good.
Hatred, but at the same time, it is. Basically, the way you know you're controversial is because the New York Times calls you controversial. What I mean by that is that they only attach that modifier to people who have typically kind of mainstream, middle-of-the-road views.
What?
And then everybody else who has crazy left-wing views is just inspiring or interesting or heterodox. But if you're controversial, that's how we know you're right-wing. That's the only modifier they'll ever attach to you. So it's not that I'm right-wing and therefore I'm controversial. It's that they called me controversial and that's how I know that I'm right-wing.
Yeah.
Right? They attached that adjective to me and that's how I know that I must be conservative because they've called me controversial. And like everybody else here,
Or it's because all of your right-wing positions? Probably that one.
I cannot for the life of me understand why any of these propositions that biological men and women are different, that men and women generally have some differences, that America is an extraordinarily good place. And by the way, the best place in 2020 for any ethnically black person to live on planet Earth. By far. It is not close in terms of income, in terms of freedom, in terms of rights, in terms of legal protections. It is really not particularly close. None of these should be controversial statements. But
I feel like Canada would be better. Probably Canada.
Because the media have deemed.
I think that's also true for white people, though, because in Canada, if you get cancer, it's not going to, bankrupt you immediately.
Anything they disagree with controversial, they become controversial.
MMO addicted with 10 bits, maybe because you can defend your positions when lightly probed by a conservative journalist you're screeched at and he is a biased leftist. Yeah, I remember when Ben did that.
Controversial. And this is why, and we all know this, right? You know this, Dave.
Yeah.
Dennis and Adam, you know this too. When people actually listen to your show, they will come up to you.
Tucker White 94, just about everything Ben Shapiro just said warrants a citation needed. Yeah. Ben should just, like, have a sign on him at all times that says, citation needed.
After a show, and they'll say, but wait, I thought that you were super controversial, right? I thought that you were super hateful and you were super radical. Like, I didn't hear any of that. So I would go and speak at Berkeley, $600,000 to protect me. I'd say a bunch of stuff.
Ben, if you legitimately paid over $500,000 for security to go speak at a college, you are a psychopath, and you spent you got scammed. Who pays over $500,000 for protection for like one day?
That seems fairly basic, and people would come up afterward from the left and be like, I don't understand why it costs $600,000. Like, I don't either, right? It's just because they've decided that if you disagree with the general kind of democratic left view of the world, then you are inherently controversial.
For the record, I did not know that I was a right-winger until the New York Times put my face on the cover. I believe you were on there with me, and you were on there with me.
Imagine having so little self-awareness that you're Dave Rubin and you don't know you're a right-winger, despite the things that you espouse. And, like, he's admitted at this point, I'm a conservative, so he knows now. His positions haven't really changed as much as he's just admitting what he is. So how can you have that little self-awareness of your position until someone else points out to you, by the way, have you noticed you're a right-winger? That's so weird to me.
Adam, I don't think you made it, about YouTubers leading people to the alt-right. And then my dad had to call me on a Sunday. Son, are you leading the alt-right? I mean, I literally got
and
that
Dave
call.
was like, and I'm gay.
Yeah.
Anyway, happy Easter.
Yeah, good luck with that. All right. I want to thank our sponsors, the Young America's Foundation, YAF, YAF, and the good people at the Capital Research Center who are helping us put this whole thing together. By the way, guys, you may be watching this on nosafespaces.com. That's actually the safest space to be watching it, because if you didn't hear
the irony
about the controversy of the last couple days, the guys who put the film together were trying to put ads on Facebook. And as far as I know, Facebook is a company that perhaps wants to make some money, except they didn't want to take money from these guys. Facebook decided that they did not want to take, I think, roughly around 10 grand in advertising funds.
That's like a drop in the bucket for Facebook, but yeah, I get it.
Because they did not want people to see this movie. So if you might be watching this on the Facebook page, but we're most likely watching on nosafespaces.com or on the No Safe Spaces YouTube page, which doesn't that kind of prove the point of the film, guys, that big tech maybe isn't our friend? Is that possible? Do you think maybe, Dennis, that big tech is not our friend, is not the friend of Prager?
Have you considered the fact that a vampire company like Facebook, which has allowed anti-vax and QAnon to go unabated for years, they recently banned QAnon, only very recently, like in the past week recently, and yet they told you no. Imagine how shitty of a person you have to be for Facebook to tell you, no, we don't want your money. Tucker White 94, I know this is off topic, but for all the money these guys get, there's no excuse for the sound to be this shitty. Yeah, I'd imagine it's hard to get competent workers to come and work for you when you're, assholes. MMO Addicted with 10 bits, sound quality comparable to early Bible Reloaded with an infinitely higher cost. My inner auditor smells tax evasion.
You
know, I wrote an open letter to, what's the...
We'll be done with this soon. I know this has been going on for a while.
The guy's name came from the Soviet Union.
Let's start skipping around and see if we can find something funny.
Guys will destroy you, and it worked. Scientology worked for a long time. I mean, everyone kind of knew the rap on Scientology, but they were effective because the deal was they will ruin your life if you speak up. But now enough people have spoken up, and the boogeyman has gone away. Your life isn't ruined.
Is he comparing the left to Scientology or something?
You can speak freely. And this kind of reminds me of the same kind of period, which is do not speak up. You are going to have your life ruined. But the more people that speak up, the easier it is for other people to speak up. And as it turns out, they don't really ruin your life. They don't have nearly the power you thought they had or that you gave them. Really is what happened, is we gave away too much power to...
Adam, no one's telling you. You literally can't say what you want. Say whatever you want. I don't care. I do care. But, like, if you're an a-hole, which it seems like you are, and you espouse talking points that are ignorant and damaging to other people have their freedom of speech right to call you out on it. And they also have the freedom to not partake in any product that involves you from then on. That's fine. You don't have to care about it. If you don't care that they're not listening to you or that they're criticizing you, that's also fine. Everyone has the right to, like, call people out on their positions. That's part of people's free speech. Winch Chanter with 50 bits. Had to pull a QAnon poster out of the ground in my own neighborhood. It was really well made, except for all the disinformation all over it. That was ballsy. That was real ballsy of you. Tucker White 94. How long until Godwin's law is invoked? There's no way they're not going to compare themselves to... There's no way they're not going to compare themselves to living in Nazi Germany. Oh, yeah. That wouldn't surprise me.
Too few who didn't...
Cats are neat, too. I'm not sure where it is, but at one point, Dave complains about not being able to use the N-word in jokes anymore.
Care for us or the country.
Yikes. Let me see if I can find, like... I couldn't find a supercut of this. What is this called? Cancel con cringe. No, that's just... Okay, we have... I can't watch Vosh's thing because he's banned on Twitch. There's someone reacting to the whole thing. Saddest boys. The Surfs did a thing on it. Let's see what Lance had to say.
Son, what if I told you you were going to compete in a spelling contest with an Indian kid? You'd go, oh crap, I'm going to get slaughtered. What if I...
Even Dennis Prager's face is like, oh no. Oh no!
I told you that kid was American Indian. And... I get it. And
wow. When your racist joke is too racist for the racist friends you have. Damn, son. That one was a swing and a miss. God damn. Not only was there not even like awkward laughter, there was just that weird pause, and then Dave Rubin in the corner. I get it. On this thing on the...
I'm sure you guys already have, but the Surfs, great. Lance does an amazing job and streams decently often. A lot of days of the week. So definitely, if you haven't checked out Lance before, go to the Surfs. I'm sure you have, though. A lot of my viewers come from the Surfs, so I'm sure most of you already know. He's on right now? Okay, cool. Welcome back, Baha. That's the racist joke you were talking about? Yeah.
The racism harvester, all right? Just why you say... Like, goddamn. I think his head just shrunk. Somewhere.
Yeah, I'll give my quick answer and then we'll throw to a clip. But, you know, I gave an answer that was an offshoot of something that I heard you say once, Bennett, to a college kid. Because every gig that I go to at a university, that's always the first question is I'm afraid to not get the grade. I want to get out of here. I want to be able to go to grad school. I want to get the job, the whole thing. And I used to kind of say something like, well, you know, you could just suck it up for now. That way you can get into the grad school that you want and you hopefully do it. And I said that a few times and it felt thin to me after, you know when you say something that's not quite right and you just don't feel right after. And then of course I was on tour with Jordan and he was always talking about how you have to say the truth. And I thought, all right, I have to give a better answer here, a more evolved answer. And I started saying to him, you must speak up now. You will never be braver than when you're 18, 19 years old to say what you think. And yeah, is your friend, maybe a friend's gonna turn on you, your professor may turn on you, whatever it is, but you don't suddenly, people think...
Getting right-wing college students to flunk out to own the libs, I'm sure that'll go well.
Now is where 14-year-old son is over there.
Does he know how much time he has left?
Yeah, hey, you'll never see your 26th birthday. Now get daddy another cold one.
Integration to happen.
Having to lose a little bit.
I think too, we love it for another reason. And I'm totally with you on that.
Why'd they call this cancel con when it's literally just like them speaking in front of a camera?
$100 or $1,000 if you got a couple kids to go to a game.
Multiple cameras.
To have a bunch of people making $8 million a year lecture you about things. That's just a bizarre thing. I think we're going to jump over to Texas A&M. We're going to talk to the students at Texas A&M. I think we're going to take a couple questions if we can hear them. Let's see what's going on over in Texas
Oh, maybe I need to set up the shout out command. Sorry about that. I'll try and set it up before next stream.
A&M.
Cut.
Possibly.
Okay,
There we go.
There we go.
All right,
Okay,
guys, what's
they have
going-
some other people. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god, what is this? Texas A&M. Texas A&M University. How many students? Okay, Texas A&M has 68,000 students. It says. Totally enrolled. This is the number of conservatives they could get to show up for this. That's kind of embarrassing, but okay.
What's going on?
Doing pretty good.
I'm not sure if Jake's
Great.
streaming. I haven't heard from
What's
him
on your
today.
mind?
It's the Republican Club. The Republican Club has the same microphone as me. I just have a sock and a purple thing on it. Everyone has this mic, though. It's the if you go to a Best Buy, this is the mic they have.
Who are we talking to? What's your name? Yeah.
Yeah.
You,
Go for
dude.
it. Have you a question, sir?
You're up.
Any questions? Yeah. So, what do you think, as conservatives, how do we fight the culture war?
Let's see. Let's look at this crowd. Okay. Just trying to see. Wow. Okay. All white people. I'm not super shocked, I guess, but okay. We got one conservative with purple hair. That surprises me. Normally they make fun of people with unnatural hair colors.
When it's
There's
already
nothing funny about the tools.
I mean, it seems like it's already.
Tucker White 94. I'm willing to bet the Texas A&M Anime Club has more members than the Republican group of dorks. Probably true.
The left has so much domination of our media and our sports.
And our sports.
How do we even try to start that backlash in the culture war when it seems like there's just too much that they have under their control?
Yeah, well, it's a great question because it's sort of an offshoot of what you were just talking about, that it's not just you go to an NBA game and it's Black Lives Matter, but you open up Apple TV and there's a message of social justice. Literally, you go to Uber Eats and they tell you to go to these black-owned businesses.
Lululemon was advertising resist capitalism.
Lululemon,
white
which
yoga
is worth,
pants
how much are they worth? Something
like.
Oh no. Patronizing, not patronizing, what's the word? Is it patronizing? I'm not sure. Oh no, giving money to black-owned businesses? The horror.
What is it, $60 billion?
Yes.
Something crazy.
They sell $150 leggings, and they were talking about
wealthy white women, and they're resisting capitalism.
Yeah, it's
capitalism
actually
always
incredible.
wins, gang.
But his question is sort of an offshoot of what Ben was saying, which is that once this thing has leaked everywhere, what do we have to do? It's not even right-leaning people. I don't like calling this conservative.
The important thing I want to say to you at Texas A&M, I don't know of a war in history in which the victor was certain of victory at every moment of the war. I don't think such wars exist. It wasn't true for...
I'm getting banned off Twitter, and people are saying mean things about me. This is the same as a war, guys.
For Washington, certainly. Read about Israel.
The thing about conservatism, and I really wish conservatives would understand this, it is by definition a losing position. By definition, being a conservative is a losing position. Never in the history of the world in the long term. We've of course had times when conservative positions oh, screw democracy, let's just have a dictator, where that has become to power. And I'd argue we have another period in time right now with ultra right-wing people like Donald Trump getting voted into office, not only here in the US, but you have Boris Johnson in the UK as the prime minister being selected by his party. I get that. That's happening. But in the long run, conservatism always loses because society always changes. And society always, in the history of the United States, over time, has always swung towards more openness, more understanding, more inclusiveness. It takes time and pain and work, but it does happen. I think Martin Luther King Jr. said, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And as cynical as I might be, I think inherently there's some truth to that statement. If you are a conservative today, let's say you're a conservative in the 60s, in the 80s, you already lost. You already lost just by virtue of being a conservative, because positions that were even liberal back then are now considered conservative. Society is a treadmill, and the zeitgeist of society is consistently taking people and the positions that won't move with society and its zeitgeist and chucking them out the back, right? Even liberal positions, again, someone who was liberal in the 60s, someone who was progressive in the 60s, if you put them today in 2020 and they had changed absolutely none of their positions, they might be a conservative, if not economically then socially. It's just how the world works. So even I'm very left-wing. I consider myself a progressive and a leftist, right? I'm very progressive. But if I refuse to change my positions in the future for whatever thing is going to happen, then it's entirely possible that I will slowly, as time moves on, and where the center is, changes with that zeitgeist. It's possible I would slip into, first, probably, here I'm at leftist. It's possible I could slip into liberal, and then centrist, and then center-right, and then right-wing if I never change my positions, because I have no idea what the future's going to bring and what new information we're going to learn about society that's going to cause us to shift our view on certain things in regard to justice and acceptance and people that need to have certain rights, right? So that's why you need to keep yourself open to that and understand that I might feel that I am open and progressive and understanding today, but that is something that I need to continually work on, right? Otherwise you get stagnated. You stagnate and you get passed by society. Conservatives are already starting out at a position where they're on the point where their positions are already on the way out, and they're saying, no, I'm planting my feet here and I will win. And never in the history of the world has that worked out for someone in the long term.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Robot marriage, I don't care. If someone wants to get married, if there was a robot that like literally had like an internal like thought, if it was alive, if it was sentient and sapient, I don't care. I think that any being that has sentience and sapience counts as life. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to have self-aware robots anytime in our lifetimes, so it's not something I'm probably going to have to contend with. But if it was, I would be on the right side of history. Shocker. Tucker White 94, exactly, Hannah. Look at Abraham Lincoln. His views on black suffrage would be the furthest thing from progressive by present standards. Yeah. Lincoln, who again, for his time, incredibly progressive. I agree. There are tons of things to praise Lincoln for. He was incredibly progressive for his time, and he worked tirelessly to keep the Union together and eventually, in the war, to end slavery. But even he had statements where he'd say, like, of course, in no sense is the African American, that wasn't the word he used, but the African American, he says, in no sense is the African American equal to the white man, but that doesn't mean they should be enslaved, basically. That's not a progressive opinion by today's standards. Very, very far from it. But, like, in his time he was progressive, but if he could somehow live to today and he never changed his opinions, he'd be an incredibly backward individual. This is always the case. This is always the case. You gotta keep expanding, like, what you understand, otherwise you're gonna get left in the dust. MMO addicted. By my country's measures, I'm a far leftist, but by U.S. measures, I am a weird amalgam of leftist and liberal. Yeah, and these things aren't black and white either. Like, a left-right dichotomy with, a center isn't gonna be super representative of political positions because it's more complicated than that. Even, like, the chart where you have, authoritarian, libertarian, conservative, progressive. I don't know which way it is with you guys. Sorry, I'm not thinking about the camera being backwards. Even that's a simplification, right? But it's just a way of understanding stuff. I'm sure there'll be political developments in our lifetimes that fundamentally don't fit into the paradigm we are familiar with. But then the way we look at it will change nonetheless. Still, you can look at people who are generally progressive in that they look at like new information and say, okay, this is something that will change in society, but will change it for the better. And then you have people who are conservatives who are like, no, everything's fine, everything's perfect as it is, stop changing.
Six-Day War, surrounded by countries that were dedicated to exterminating it. That's why it's considered sort of a miracle that they won in 6 days. I mean, read about any war. Were the guys who stormed Normandy certain of victory? I mean, you know,
posting on BitChute is literally the same thing as landing on the beaches of Normandy and shooting Nazis in the head.
Spielberg's movie, what is it, Private Ryan, Saving Private Ryan, you see the guys, understandably, peeing in their pants.
Yeah.
No war is won on the basis of we'll win at every moment. You know, you have tens upon tens of millions of people in America who know that the left is a completely destructive force. You are not alone.
Not the majority, though. Funny how that works.
You may feel alone at any given university. You may feel alone turning on sports, but you're not alone. And the more they make you think that, and thereby despair and keep quiet, then they can win. But if you don't think that way and fight back, we will win.
Should we jump to another school? Yeah, we're going to jump over to Cal State, Los Angeles. Here in Los Angeles, Shapiro's leaving you. We're staying.
Oh, no. Also, it bothers me a lot. This happened September 17th. All these people are going to catch COVID. They should not have done this. Oh, God.
Suckers.
All right, guys. There we go. You guys got a question for us?
Reagan in Washington.
They have a giant.
Oh, he's got a Reagan head. Oh, how many people are in this club? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Reagan head.
7.
What's going on down there, guys? How's university life these days?
Oh, it's going well. Other than
Constant debate whether it was the students that brought state to accomplish things. Think you might be on mute.
Because he was speaking Chinese. That's how insane things have become. But I think this is I actually am optimistic about this part of the culture because the left is so humorless and so obnoxious.
That's true. That's why Jake wears his business corn suit and he never makes jokes ever. Me too. It's why I take this very seriously and never wear stupid hats. We have no sense of humor.
Unbelievably boring, like crazily boring, to the point where you see mainstream comedians who are certainly not on the right, who have started to decry comic cancel culture. You started to see it from people like Aziz Ansari. You're seeing it from Dave Chappelle. And these are people who are certainly not on the political right, and they're starting to get annoyed with it. And they should be annoyed with it because the left, I have a theory, and that is that the left was always humorless, but I think Trump absolutely killed comedy. I think Trump's election...
I agree. Trump killed satire. How do you satirize Donald Trump? Right? You can't. It's already peak ridiculousness. How do you heighten the ridiculousness of Trump without it just coming off as farcical? Like, you're... I really don't know.
That someone might
Ted
disagree,
Cruz.
that someone might not, and stupid.
Is Ted Cruz like their headliner? He's last.
That we will be able to maintain
politically correct diversity that they hate is diversity of.
All right, that's enough of CancelCon. That's some embarrassing stuff right there, but it is very funny. Speaking of hats, yours is awesome. Thank you. Antipodian Squid with 10-bit Shapiro whining about the left not having a sense of humor and yet didn't understand the satire behind a WAP. Yeah. Hannah is so humorless that this emote never happened. True. That emote, completely false. Never happened. Just canceled CancelCon. Look at that ratio. Lovely. Very funny, though. At least they're not censoring the comments. That's nice. All right, so it's time for another poll. Let me put on the hold on, I'll set it up. Poll to see what we're going to watch next. Chat. What's next? Okay, there's the poll. Vote on what you think should be next on this stream. Oh, I did a typo, but it's supposed to be Weird 60s Game Show on the final one. History of the World. I'll make sure History of the World's on the next poll, because I can only put so many options on here at once. Whichever one gets picked on this one will get knocked off, and then we'll put History of the World. Looks like 60s Game Show's gonna win. Ghosts, but only to piss off Hannah. That's the way to vote. Always do the vote that'll make me angry. That's usually the good way to go. That's usually how I conduct my own life, and it's why I'm miserable. Weird 60s Game Show is the winner. Tucker White 94 with 10 bits. I wish I was watching History of the World Part 1. It annoyed me as a kid that there was never a History of the World Part 2. That, weirdly, I don't think my favorite... Ooh, that is tough. I don't think my favorite... A lot of people's favorite Mel Brooks movie is Blazing Saddles. And Blazing Saddles is funny. I agree. But I'm partial to History of the World. I don't know why. The Inquisition gets me every time. The Inquisition. Let's begin the Inquisition. Look out, sin. It's pretty good. I know you're wishing that we'd go away. Young Frankenstein and Spaceballs. Yeah, those are good. There's a lot of good Mel Brooks movies. He's a very, very funny guy. All right, 1963, Queen for a Day, Jack Bailey. Per Wikipedia, Queen for a Day originated in the Mutual Radio Network on April 30th, 1945 in New York City before moving to Los Angeles a few months later, and running until 1957. Wow, that's a long-running game show. The show then ran on NBC television from 56 to 64. Wow, 45 to 64. The series is considered a forerunner of the modern-day reality television. The show became popular enough that NBC increased its running time from 30 minutes to 45 minutes to sell more commercials at the then premium rate of $4,000 per minute. Excuse me. Attempted revivals in 1969 and 2004 failed to match the popularity of the original and were short-lived. This 1963 episode has a circus theme with some performers from Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus along to assist with the proceedings. Not rated black and white, year originally telecast 1963. I'm still not clear on what the show is. Hold on. Queen for a Day. Let me see if I can find, like, what the gimmick of the show is. What's the thing? American radio and television game show that helped to usher in America's listeners and viewers' fascination with big prize giveaway shows. Queen for a Day originated on the format. Show opened with host Jack Bailey asking the audience, mostly women, would you like to be queen for a day? After this, the contestants were introduced and interviewed one at a time with commercials and fashion commentary interspersed in between. Each contestant was asked to talk about the recent financial and emotional hard times she had been through. The interview could climax with Bailey asking the contestants what she needed most and why she wanted to win the title of queen for a day. Often the request was for medical care or therapeutic equipment to help a chronically ill child. Oh my God. Or might be for a hearing aid, a new washing machine, or a refrigerator. Many women broke down sobbing as they described their plights. What is this? This sounds like the most American game show in the history of game shows. All right, women, now beg for your medical care. Whoever cries the most gets to live. Tammy, you're up first. What the hell? It's okay. This one's circus themed, so it'll be fun.
Alrighty, hurry, hurry, hurry to Circus Day on Queen for a Day. Being brought to you by Pepsodent, famous for whiteness, famous for flavor, and by Clairol, creators of the exciting natural look and beauty, and starring our ringmaster of fun, Jack Bailey.
Not Manny. Thank you for following.
That's great. Thank you, and welcome to what we think will be a very colorful and a very special edition of Queen for a Day. By the way, these are real honest-to-goodness circus clowns from the great Ringling Brothers in Barnum and Bailey Circus. Larry and Bobby. Come up here, Larry and Bobby.
About the tools of capitalism.
Hello.
You thought Japanese game shows were weird.
Bobby.
Have you guys seen the Japanese game show where it's a room and something in the room is edible, but they got to figure out what it is, and they just got to try and bite into stuff to figure out if it's the food? That one's fun.
Then you must be Laura. Right. Bobby, what are you doing in town here? What y'all doing?
Well, we came to tell my boys and girls all about the circus. The Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. The greatest show on earth.
Or what?
We're going to do some tricks. Yeah.
Hello,
yes,
Captain
I've got
Rachel.
boys and girls
Welcome.
Out there, you know, from 4 to 40 or 8 to 80. Yeah. They're all boys and girls. Good. And they want to see some circus stuff. And we've got a good show this day.
You got any passes with you? I'd like to go myself.
You said it.
Guess who has coronavirus? I'll give you a hint. It seems like flies are attracted to coronavirus and homophobes.
Oh, there's tickets for that circus, you know. And they're available. They're down at the sports arena. You can get them.
Good. I'd like to get some... You're kidding with that face. Listen, you got any free tickets for the Queen?
Well, Jack, of course.
This is like getting the free money out of the Bank of America.
Yes, of course. I want you and the Queen.
Yeah, someone accidentally published a tweet that wasn't supposed to be published yet. It says, this is from Deadline Hollywood, and the tweet says, "Prep, do not publish until the news crosses." So they accidentally tweeted this tweet that was just supposed to be a draft. And it says, Vice President Mike Pence test positive for coronavirus 8 days after Donald Trump. They deleted it, but people screenshotted it. So, yeah, Mike Pence has the big Rona.
And all the candidates to be our guests at the circus.
Now, is that free?
Absolutely free, no tax, no nothing.
Well, old Skinheart, I'm glad you finally gave something away. And you know, you kids are going to make a lot of fun with us today. And
I'll give you guys a link, hold on.
We accept for all of the candidates and myself and Mrs. Bailey, and Mrs. Bailey has 75 nieces.
You're hurrying now.
It'll be 111 of us. Thank you both very much, and we'll see you later on in the show. Bless your hearts. Now, what do you say? We meet our first candidate here and have a little talk with her. Well, here she comes. Welcome to our circus show, Shirley. Shirley Boyer. Where are you from?
San Diego.
Yeah. Now you're the mother of how many children?
4
Four
little
children.
boys.
Well, 4 boys. Right. Well, they're circus size. How old are they?
2, 4, 6, and 8.
Well, that was 2, 4, 6, and 8 almost.
That's right.
How long have you been married, Shirley?
Almost 9 years.
Now your husband left you. How long has he been gone?
Well, he's been gone since last November.
But he left in line of duty and not for any other reason. He's with the United States Navy.
Lane, thank you for following.
Is he? I thought he was with the Navy. Well, I'm sorry. Listen, where is he now?
He just got back from Vietnam
Oh,
to
boy.
Okinawa.
I bet he's got some stories to tell about that junk over there.
Yes.
Now,
Oh, God. Yeah, he burned a whole village down, and now he can't sleep at night.
he still isn't coming home, though. He went back to Okinawa.
Right.
And how long will he be there?
Till December.
Then he's coming home.
Right.
Now, that leads me into another question that I ask several times a day on this show. What would you like if you were queen? Shirley Boyer.
Phone call.
To Okinawa.
Right.
Now, you...
Oh, my God, she just wants to have a phone call with her husband, who's in a military base at Okinawa. This game show is so depressing. It's like, haha, we're gonna do a circus theme. Also, my husband just got back from Vietnam and I want to talk to him.
I want to talk to him and find out how he's feeling and everything and how the Marines are doing. But you had another idea after the phone call.
Oh, you mean the honeymoon?
Did you forget it? Why don't
I know Vietnam isn't Okinawa. If you actually listen to what they said he just left Vietnam and now he's at a military base in Okinawa. I'm guessing he left Vietnam and now he is at a military base of the United States in Okinawa, and then from there he'll either go back home or maybe he'll go back to Vietnam. I don't know specifically what they're doing, but that's what they said.
When I keep my mouth shut, I got by with just a phone call here. Listen, you wanted to have a honeymoon. He's been gone for about a year.
Right.
Okinawa's where Mr. Miyagi is from. It's where he learned the secret of the drum.
13 months, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to be in Okinawa if you don't quit back tonight.
When did World War II end? In the 1940s, like 1945 it ended. This is 1963.
There you are. Listen, we're going to make a phone call, and has he seen all the kiddies? Were they all born before he left?
Oh, yes, uh-huh.
Yeah. But he liked to talk to them.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
And you got how many boys?
4 and 1 girl dog.
One girl dog. The dog doesn't get on the phone. No yipping on the phone, but we're going to fix it up so you call Dad over in Okinawa, and when he gets back, you and Dad are going on a honeymoon if you're queen. Is that fair enough?
Oh, that'd be...
Where would you like to go, you and your hubby? Why don't you go to Okinawa for a honeymoon?
Oh, I'm sure he'd like that.
Well, I was trying to get free room and board out of the Marines there. It didn't work, huh?
This is the 60s. The United States has had military bases in Japan since after the end of World War II, I think.
Where would you like to go, really?
Because part of the thing about the agreements signed at the end of World War II is Japan isn't allowed to have a military. So I think part of that was like, hey, we're going to have some military bases on Japan. If anything happens, American military forces will like help, you know. I think Japan does have something called like the something defense force, but legally they're not supposed to have like a military.
Oh.
I'm not sure the exact like differentiation between the Japanese like defense force and a military.
Anywhere, just to be with him.
Fine. We have a wonderful...
It's possible it's more akin to like a National Guard rather than, you know, like an Army or an Air Force or something like that.
We'll spot up the coast.
Self-defense
Santa
force.
Barbara. Put you on a bus. Haven't you really? No. You'll love it. And if you're queen, that's where you're going, okay? Thank you, and say hello to that Marine for us, will you? Shirley Boyd. See that was.
Now for you who want cleaner, whiter teeth, here's a word from Pepsodent.
Smile. Everybody likes to smile. Then why does she hide her smile? Because of dull, off-white teeth. She needs Pepsodent, the toothpaste for people who like to smile. Pepsodent's newly patented formula cleans away yellow film, the film that causes dull teeth, causes bad breath, causes tooth decay. So for a dazzling smile, get Pepsodent. It's for people who like to smile.
That's so, I don't know, weird.
This dish towel's soaking wet. Doesn't anybody make thicker ones?
Here, honey. These new terry cloth dish towels should do it.
Canon Terry dish towels really soak up water. They're yours as a bonus in giant-size Breeze detergent. Like the Canon face cloth in regular size or bath towel in king size. Breeze gets washed sparkling bright.
Wait, they're giving away free towels inside their, like, laundry detergent? Holy crap.
Dazzling white.
Why are towels so expensive now compared to when they were just giving them away free in the detergent?
Smart, thrifty buy is Breeze.
That's so bizarre. Imagine if you went to the store and you're like, oh, I need to buy some laundry detergent. They're like, it comes with a free towel. I'd be like, heck yeah, I'll take a free towel.
Funny about the tools of capitalism.
Tucker White 94 with 10 bits. I'll say this. The ads here are significantly better than most ads today. The thing is, Mad Men covers this really well. If you've seen the show Mad Men, at a certain point, the ad industry, a lot of like stuff like early 60s and before, a lot of the ads are like, here's our product, here's why it's good, buy it. And then like after the 60s, a lot of ads got really weird and it happened really slowly, but it got to the point where like if you watch like I don't watch ads anymore, like almost ever. I have YouTube Premium, so I like don't get ads ever. I have ad block too, but I like to pay for YouTube Premium because I'm a YouTuber. I have been for 8 years, and I recognize that like that's a huge part of people's incomes. So I do YouTube Premium, and then this is not an ad. I just genuinely like this. And it gives the people whose videos I watch revenue from the YouTube Premium, you know, and then I have Netflix and Hulu and all the ad-free option stuff on my streaming services. I don't watch ads because they're nuts. But like if I go to a movie theater, like pre-COVID, obviously, sometimes they play ads before the movie. And like if you see a Coke or a Pepsi ad these days, it's so weird. It's not like, because everyone knows what Coke and Pepsi taste like, and you know if you like it or not, but the ads aren't like, drink Pepsi, it's delicious sugar water that we put bubbles in. Please drink our delicious sugar candy water. Instead, it's like, oh, you like, and they don't say this, but it's just imagery of like people hanging out with their friends and having a good time and drinking Pepsi. Like, oh, you like having friends and having a good time, don't you? Why don't you drink a delicious Pepsi? It's gonna give you type 2 diabetes, but you'll have friends. It's so weird. Ads have gotten so abstract and emotional in getting you to buy their product. It's not about the product anymore. It's just like, you like having friends? Drink Pepsi. Very strange.
This mark. You're shaking good now. You're on TV. They're clapping for you. And we're glad you're here. Claudia Hall is your name, and that's something that you knew when you got here. What was your name before it was Hall?
Snyder.
Snyder. Where were you born, Schneider?
In Van Nuys.
A local girl.
Yeah.
Mr. Hall, what's he do?
He's a truck driver
Where's he driving?
for Valley Brick and Supply in Van Nuys.
He isn't a long-distance hauler.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore. Did he used to?
Yeah.
How long did he go on those trips?
Oh, for about a week.
Does he really?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people in the 60s aren't as good as being on TV as people are nowadays. I feel like even if you take some random person off the street and you're like, you're going to be on TV, welcome to the game show. Maybe it's because people have much more access to mass media, and they kind of know, like, I'm supposed to act this way when I'm on a game show or on TV. I need to, like, speak loudly, and I need to make sure that I'm, like, saying more than one word. Whereas, like, and I don't mean, I'm not making fun of this woman. Like, obviously, for one thing, this woman's in her 90s now. I don't think she cares. But, like, or she's dead. But, like, she's like, oh, you live here yet, huh? Yes, I live in Van Nuys. It's just not very TV ready.
Boy, you were a truck widow, huh?
TubeMan642. I wonder if we'll ever reach the point where people don't remember why random people's names are in Coke bottles. I mean, I think it's intuitive to understand, like, oh, there's an ad thing. They're doing an advertising thing.
How's your children?
Oh, they're all fine.
Yes. How many you got?
7.
Lucky 7.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to have all 7 of them without the sniffles or the measles.
7 kids. Bananas.
One time.
Well, they get them all at once, too.
Do they really?
Yeah.
How old's your oldest child?
11.
And you got 7 or 6 more under 11?
Yeah.
You got twins?
No.
Triplets?
In 3,000 years, you think it's intuitive? Do you think people will be around in 3,000 years? Also, how do I put this? If human beings exist in 3,000 years, they will probably have access to documents from the Coke Corporation that explain the entire, like, promotion with the thing. We're not living in antiquity, you know, where people are writing things on stone tablets that and there's very few of them. I think digital records and stuff will be kept relatively. I'm sure we'll lose a lot. I'm not saying we won't, but I think we'll have enough cultural context in the future if human beings continue to exist, like from videos and stuff that historians will be able to put together. Like, oh, they put names on the bottles and then people bought them.
No.
Quadruped?
No. All single.
All single. Mm-hmm. George, and you were there at every birth. That's wonderful, Claudia. That's okay. That's the way it works out. You got a problem, haven't you, kid?
A little.
And you want to dump it right on old Dad Bailey's lap.
Can I?
I don't know. It's up to them and the audience. Why don't you tell us what you want and why? And it's a good thing.
I want a replacement for myself for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Now, you going to the hospital for an operation?
Yes.
You've interviewed the housekeeper? Yeah. You're doing fine.
She wants a housekeeper so she can go get an operation. That's so depressing.
And all of a sudden, the thundering hurt.
Can your husband not cook a dinner or do laundry for 2 weeks? Jesus Christ.
Come in, and they get out of there before it's too late.
Yes.
And they say, I wouldn't be interested in a job with these 7 hooligans.
They're not that bad.
No, we got to say they're real good, because we're going to have trouble getting somebody to go down there with 7 kids. How long you want this lady for?
Just for 2 weeks.
There's nothing funny
I'm not
about the
supposed to
tools
be
of
up for
capitalism.
14 days, so.
Look, you're used to the 7 kids. Don't give me that.
Not in the 60s he wasn't? I know, that's what I'm saying. It's disgusting.
Just for 2 weeks thing. That could run.
Why does this episode have a circus theme?
An old lady to her early grave. We got to get a young, tough one. Huh?
Yeah.
I'll bet they're wonderful kids. And wouldn't it be a relief, and I know it would, while you're in the hospital getting well, which is important, to have those 7 children taken care of real good, huh?
Yes.
Well, we'll get you a housekeeper and a babysitter all in one if you're elected our queen, and then that'll be one less worry.
This is so depressing, because only one of these women is going to get to win. Only one is going to get what they want, and they're things that, like, so far we have woman who wants to talk to her husband, who was deployed to Vietnam. She just wants to talk to on the phone with him. And then this woman needs a housekeeper for 2 weeks while she recovers from an operation. This show is so bad. What the heck? Tucker White 94, the future exhibit. If you look here, class, you'll see records of the legendary band Sex Abacus. Well, not much of their music still exists. The larger-than-life personalities of Hannah and Jake inspired centuries of cynical douchebags. I'll take that. Like the wild stallions of internet D-bags. I can do that. Okay. MMO addicted because the bourgeois needs to laugh at the struggles of the working clowns. You thought he was in Okinawa? Yeah. He was deployed to Vietnam, and right now he's in Okinawa. I assume he was deployed in Vietnam, and he was, like, doing soldier stuff in Vietnam. And then either he's on leave, or he is on... I don't know. He's in Okinawa right at this moment, though, is what they said. He's probably on leave from Vietnam for a little bit, or he's doing something in Okinawa before he redeploys. I don't know what the specific context is.
Right in step with our circus theme today, we planned a veritable 3-ring circus of fun. Is that the way you say that word, veritable? That sounded just...
Which is weird. I guess yeah, people probably did have a hard time getting connected to other countries in 1963 with their phones. I was gonna say, like, couldn't they just, like, have some special phone number that people could call people on the base with? But, like, yeah, unless you're dealing with, like, radio communication over long distances, it probably would be, you probably wouldn't be able to connect your phone to someone in Japan in the 60s. Weird.
Just darling.
Did area codes even exist in the 60s? You were still calling the operator at that point. Invention of phone area codes in USA. Area code system was developed by AT&T and Bell, and in the 40s, went into effect in 47. It was called the North American Numbering Plan. Okay, cool. So there are zip codes in the United States, at least. Or not zip codes, area codes, sorry.
Veritable 3-ring circus of fun. Our queen, it sounded darling. I never did trust him. When she goes
incredibly expensive. Makes sense.
The world is going to have some fun, this queen is, and she's got to have some clothes. Right, John?
That's right.
Veritable.
For instance, at Max Factors, she can try clown white or any other shade of makeup she cares to, as she's pampered by the experts.
Clown white.
Ringmaster for her day, of course, will be the Gold Imperial Limousine by Chrysler, the star of every show. The most glamorous mess tent in all Hollywood, the Brown Derby, will cater Her Majesty's lunch, and she'll find intermission a most pleasant diversion, for she'll spend it in the penthouse suite of the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. In the early evening, our queen will drive to the smart Villa Capri for refreshments and hors d'oeuvres, before journeying into Orange County for a delightful dinner in the Charterhouse Rib Room, Anaheim's finest restaurant.
Oh, it's like right in front of Disneyland.
It's off to the theater for the royal party, the Melodyland Theater, where it's opening night for Gordon and Sheila McRae, starring in the tuneful hit, Bells Are Ringing.
Hey, here's a fresh outlook on beauty, my friends, and it's naturally from Clairol.
How long has it been since your black hair was really black? Gray shows up so plainly in black, says you're older than you are. Hate that gray? Wash it away. Wash years away with Loving Care Hair Color Lotion by Clairol in the new natural black shade. No mixing, no peroxide. Loving Care pours on right out of the bottle, colors only the gray. Washes it away without changing your natural hair color. Used about once a month, keeps gray away and won't rub off, even in the darkest new natural black. So if you hate that gray, wash it away with Loving Care. Looks so fresh and natural. Makes your husband feel younger, too, just to look at you. Not a tint, better than a rinse. Hairdressers agree it's a fountain of youth for graying hair. Shades range from blonde to new natural black. Loving Care Hair Color Lotion by Clairol.
That's Clairol, a name to remember for the exciting natural look in beauty. Now let's see what's under the fashion big top today, because here to direct us from the center ring is an especially nice and well-rehearsed wardrobe. And let's call on our mistress of ceremonies to call the shots, Miss Jean Cagney. Go!
Thank you, Judge. Thank you. You know, a circus always
Oh, God. I guess I didn't think about the competition. Oh, God, they're having these women parade themselves around in, like, different outfits to be like, who deserves the thing that is probably vital to their life? Are we going to let you talk to your husband who's been in Vietnam? Are we going to let you get someone to help you with the house during your operation? Now parade around like monkeys for us, ladies. Tucker White 94, pay attention to the ads, Hannah. You'll please Baja with some Loving Hair Care restoration.
Flying trapeze.
This was like the most popular game show for like 20 years. Remember earlier when I was talking about like how conservatism is like a losing position because zeitgeist changes? Like, this was the most popular show in America in terms of game shows for decades, from what I read from the Wikipedia article. And this one episode is the most depressing thing ever. It's like, hello, women. You have problems caused by society's ills? Put on these outfits and we'll decide which one of you gets the thing you need. Like, that's messed up.
The swing of this pleated skirt, topped by a...
And this was popular, is the point I was making. This was popular, so this was like, the average American would think this was okay. Flash forward however long, I feel like even in the 80s, people would have looked back on this and gone, yeah, yikes.
Long-sleeved over blouse.
This is what boomers are watching in their formative years? Yep.
The jungle green crepe ensemble by Mr. Moore. Fluid line.
This is so gross.
The fashion wagon of the Miss Smith or mix. Girl, button beating the face on pink or her handwagon of wonderful fashions and excel.
On the meet with called anything. Carol Weed. Oh, Ouida, excuse me. There's have you been ever called anything worse than Ouida?
There's nothing
That's
funny
good.
about the
Where do you live?
Westminster.
You lived there very long?
Oh, about 2 years.
This show is basically a
Where'd you come from?
microcosm of America.
Well, I've been
Yeah.
all over. My husband's in the service. So.
Good. What service is he in?
Marine Corps.
Yes, we've had 2 Marine wives, and that's great. We're glad. Where is your husband?
The war in Vietnam! It's great, folks! Don't we all agree? Yay, Marines! Let's burn down another village and drop some more Agent Orange. I'm sure this will not be a great stain on American history. Hooray, military, no matter the context.
Now, is he in this country?
Yes, he's stationed at LTA.
What's that?
Wing the Ultimate Nug, this show, dance for money, dance for your survival.
Anna. It's by El Toro Marine Base.
Yeah? What's he do?
He works with books and bookkeeping and stuff like that.
That's my best evil laugh.
Good. How many children you got?
I have 2.
2 children.
Plus
But you,
4.
Yeah, but you need some help, don't you?
Yes.
Not just with your children. What are you doing? You're a swell gal. What are you doing?
Well, I'm taking in 4 children during the day. Their father walked out on them about 2 months ago.
Oh, God! Well, my husband walked out on me 2 months ago. Please help me.
The mother, she has to work, naturally. She brings them at 7 in the morning until 5:30 in the evening.
And you take care of your children and her. That's 7 altogether.
That's 6 altogether.
6 altogether.
Yes.
Where do you live?
Westminster.
Where do you live, Miss Saugus? That's not far from Westminster. I got a little deal for you. You got You got 6 now. I got a friend, she's feeling poorly, and she's going to a hospital. You wouldn't want that to happen, that her 7 kids would run around barefooted all over Saugus.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Is he being like, well, you're a single mother. Well, this other woman, she needs an operation. Don't you feel bad about competing in this competition that we've set up arbitrarily, even though we could probably help you all? What the fuck?
Funny about the tools of capitalism.
Tucker White 94, I never thought I'd see a show with less dignity than the Jerry Springer Show. This is much worse than I expected. Oh yeah, I thought we'd watch like 5 minutes of this and I'd be like, this is boring. No, I am invested. I am so invested in this dumpster fire. I once titled a video on YouTube, because we watched the Nostalgia Critic game show, Pop Quiz Hot Shot, and I titled that the worst game show of all time, and I was wrong. This is the worst game show of all time.
You only got 6 kids there. You had 7 more. Well, that'd be 13. I think I just lost the deal. I don't blame you. Listen, Carol, if you're our queen, how can... Quit shaking. What's the matter with you? If you're elected our queen, how can we help?
Well, I would like a TV for these 4 children because they do not have one.
Yeah.
And they're unhappy right now with their dad.
What the fuck? Should we give the woman who needs an operation a hand because her husband's a deadbeat? Or should we help this single mother get a television for her hellspawn?
Daddy gone, and so maybe a TV would make them happy.
Well, I think you're a swell gal, and I mean it. And if you're elected our queen, we're going to...
And first of all, this isn't okay in the first place, because I think all of these problems, like, show systematic issues that are going on in the United States in '63, right? We have literally a Vietnam wife, like, of a Vietnam vet who's struggling because of that. We have a woman who can't support herself very well because her husband walked out on her 2 months ago, and it's the 60s, and it's hard for women to, support themselves. And then we have a woman who needs an operation, and she needs someone to come and help cook and clean because her husband can't do it. Like... This show is bad, but if at the end, if the twist at the end of every episode was, we're going to help you all, that would be one thing. But I have a feeling that's not going to be the case. So every episode we just show 4 depressing situations that are not the fault of the people who are in these situations, and then only helping one of them, and that is so messed up.
I'm going to get a TV quick, and quit looking so pale. You don't have to take the other 7, okay? Thank you, Carol. You're all right there. Carol Wheaton.
And now, it's time for part 2 of Queen for a Day.
Okay. I'm going to skip past the fashion show bits because I don't care.
Since this is our special circus day on Queen for a Day, we thought you might enjoy seeing this original painting that Jack did and is sending to the Goodson Todman Art Exhibit in New York.
There's nothing funny about the tools of
now,
capitalism.
the theme of this exhibit is anything related to show business. And it has to be created or painted by a performer. And I was more than happy to be able to contribute
Artisan,
my effort.
thank you for subscribing.
And this is called the golden era of the circus. It's a great cause.
I don't care about this dude's painting.
This is Roma Madison in person, and I'm glad to see you. Where are you living?
Bellflower.
Yeah? You lived out here all your life?
Most all my life, yes.
Where did you come from originally?
Kentucky.
You're a southerner, but you don't talk like it.
No.
That's good. What does your Mr. Madison do?
Well, right now he's unemployed.
Oh, well, he's not in the Marine Corps then.
No, he's not.
We've had 3 or 4 of them in the Marine Corps today, and that's good, too. Mr. Madison and you have, how many children?
2.
2 children?
Mm-hmm.
And now, the old man is acting up, and one of the children.
That's right.
What, is it a boy or girl?
It's a boy.
Both those fellas.
That's right.
And you and the little girl are holding up better than they are.
It seems that way.
Well, you have to, don't you, Ma?
Almost.
Now, how can we help you, Mrs. Madison, if you're our queen?
Well, I'd like to have a dehumidifier.
Now, that has been suggested by the doctor. What does your husband and little boy have?
They have asthma.
Asthma.
Oh my God, no! And this lady's problem is her husband and son have asthma, and they want a dehumidifier. No! This is terrible! These monsters better give this lady a dehumidifier, and they better help that lady with her operation. I don't care so much about the TV. Although I'm sure it would make her children happy. So fine, give her a TV and give that other lady a phone call. You help all these people. If one of them gets like go to the hotel and see the show, fine. But the rest of them need to get that, especially this one for the asthma and also for the other medical care thing. I'm not, do dehumidifiers help people with asthma? I'm genuinely not familiar with that, even though Baja has asthma.
And that's not very funny, by George. And the dehumidifier you can't get right now because you've had some medical expenses.
That's right. And neither one of us are working.
So you used to work too?
Yes, I did.
What'd you do?
I was secretary.
Well, I'll bet you were a good one. Now, you were laid off, and Dad is not feeling up to it, and he can't work. So it's about time somebody moved in and got a dehumidifier. So
they help? Okay.
It'd be nice.
I wonder how expensive a dehumidifier was in 1963. Dehumidifier in the 60s. I don't know how well this is gonna... 50s and 60s. Okay, so this is a dehumidifier, Westinghouse. I'm curious how expensive they were.
It's so moldy and warped, and look, even the hinges are rusted. Against that hard here, and then it comes out.
Wow, that's a big old dehumidifier.
Any part of your house.
Let me see if I can just cost. How much did dehumidifiers cost in the 60s? A lot of these are just like the cost of a dehumidifier in 2020. I know how much dehumidifiers cost today. I have one. Like, I know. Someone find that information for me if you can. Please.
You bet it'd be nice, and we'd love to do it, and we'll do it if you're elected queen for a day. Thank you, Roma Madison. Thank you. Right now, let's take a look at all the gifts going to the 4 candidates.
Our first will be the versatile Westinghouse Riviera fan with its patented air injector rings. It can be used as a hassock, window, or wall-mounted fan. Wall perfectly from both. Sometimes when you have a special problem, you just don't know where to turn. Here's a good suggestion from a famous product.
Doing its job. Constipation. A very real problem at times. Where do you turn? To the laxative more people turn to than to any other. To X-Lax, the gentle, dependable, overnight laxative. Only X-Lax has a medically approved laxative ingredient in convenient chocolated tablets to help your system do its job again. A laxative ingredient a recent medical book calls very reliable, quote, for use at bedtime to produce results much like normal in the morning, unquote. Results much like normal in the morning. Now you feel refreshed, renewed. X-Lax, the gentle,
have I seen the House Hippo PSA from Canada? Laxative. Yeah, I have. $139.95 for the dehumidifier in the 60s money, I assume. Inflation calculator, because like my humidifier costs more than that today, although I have a pretty hardcore dehumidifier for my basement. So let's say 1963, 2020, 139.95. This says it would be $1,188. Yeah, that would suck. That would suck.
Now the world looks good to you again.
That still makes me think about that, though. This woman's going like, please get me this $1,000 thing that will improve the quality of life for my husband and son who have asthma. And the other lady's like, get my kids a TV. I feel like there's like no wrong answer. The only wrong answer so far in this episode is giving the ladies' kids a TV. And I'm not saying that, like, I get it. It would probably make the kids happy and it would make her life easier. But, like, there are people with medical problems that need help, people. Come on.
Now we're going to have a queen. Please don't whistle or shout. Here we go. Number 1, Mrs. Shirley Boyer. Mr. Boyer has been with the United States Marines. He's been away. He's been in Vietnam, and he's now back in Okinawa. Been gone about a year. She'd like...
Oh my God, does the audience decide by applause? This is dystopian. You bet the TV wins. I feel it in my bones. Oh God.
To have a phone call to Okinawa, and the honeymoon when he returns, #1.
No! No applause-o-meter! No applause!
Mrs. Claudia Hall, who has to go to the hospital and be in bed for 2 weeks. She'd like a replacement for herself with 7 children. Your applause for #2.
Oh, good. At least a medical expense is going to win, hopefully.
Mrs. Carol Weida. Mrs. Weida has 3 children of her own, 2 children of her own, and is taking care of 4 whose father deserted them while the mother works. And to make them a little happier, she'd like a TV set for these 4 little strangers. #3.
Oh my God!
#4,
the TV got more than the woman who wants to talk to her husband.
Mrs. Roma Madison, her husband and 1 son has asthma very badly, and she would like a dehumidifier for their home. #4.
Okay, so it looks like the one who...
#2.
Oh God!
Mrs. Hall, I believe that we're going to send you on a little happier note to the hospital. Sorry you have to go. We're going to get somebody for that brood of yours, but I got to crown you Queen Claudia. Queen for the day!
This feels like something that would fit into the world of Idiocracy. It's making me think of a Black Mirror episode. My God!
Start off with the flowers. Even before you get to the hospital, we're sending you flowers. Carl's of Hollywood sends these over every day. There are 4 dozen coronation red roses for you and every queen.
And she's crying. Of course she's crying. She's getting help for like an operation she needs.
Angels, and I'm sure that with our help, you'll have no trouble finding a replacement for 2 weeks. And of course, we'll imagine what we're going to do. We're going to start the circus now. Woo! Your Majesty, I want you to look at the center ring right back there, where you'll see a
cyberpunk dystopia reskin of this.
You can find that everyone is taking more baths these days, and here's a new wrinkle for your bath time, a jacuzzi whirlpool bath. And that nut in there doesn't go with it. You can use that right in your own tub. It gently swirls the warm waters about you, relaxing and easing tensions.
Is that an electrical device that you place in your bathtub? That seems like a dangerous thing.
The finest autocycle that you've been wanting to buy for copy.
It's a washer.
Order whatever strikes your fancy, direct from Spiegel in Chicago.
There's one thing about a circus. Everybody wants to get in the act. Well, here's a good way for some of your kids to start. Here's a unicycle. Some of the greatest acts in show business got started this way, and he can't ride it either.
There's always music with a circus grab. It operates your...
Oh my God, look at how much crap she gets. It's like she won the Price is Right showcase.
In a rugged but smart upholstery and feature the comfort of a combination swivel and rocker base.
Now you can take color movies of yourself and your color film, which
gather and a full.
You have that thing under control. You know, one of the most exciting...
Are we just not going to see the other women for the rest of this thing?
Right now, you're on your way to become...
That's horrifying.
You have 7 children, we figured you need a cat.
Oh my God! Oh no! Oh no! Oh! This poor kitty! How much do you want to bet there's a string attached that kept the winner from collecting the prizes? Well, they have to pay taxes on all this stuff, so... Yeah, unless you can pay for the taxes on a new washer and dryer and record player and a cat and like all this stuff, then yeah, they're effed.
That's Leo! Well, you have to start somewhere. You only have 7 children, we figured you need a cat. And to keep Leo happy, you're going to have a generous supply of Little Friskies for cats. It's the food that never spoils or dries up. It's a quality pet food from
This isn't even what they want. You could have helped them all instead of giving her all this crap.
And you and your friends will even see your picture later on in the Hollywood Citizen News. However, there's more to come yet in a minute.
Oh, they said at the beginning it was tax-free, like they pay the taxes? That's good at least.
This is another big surprise for you.
Can you tell the difference between natural teeth and dentures?
Oh my God.
Here's lots of play equipment. Swings, slide, new, little things. Having complete for every single day.
That's horrifying. I hate it. Oh my god. The one woman wanted to talk to her husband, which, hey, in fairness, hopefully, like, he came back and, like, everything's fine. Like, whatever. But then, like, the lady who needs a dehumidifier for her unemployed husband who has asthma and their son who has asthma, that's so depressing. Like, just don't... America. I hate... Oh, God. Ugh. This is the most manipulative show ever conceived. 3 women compete to tell the biggest, most pathetic tales of dire woe and deprivation. The winner's mother has terminal cancer. She wins a new washer, dryer, and a trip. Oh, yeah. Gross stuff. That's enough of that. Let's do a poll to see what we watch next. History of the entire world. I can't put the L and the D because there's a limit on characters, but that's what that one is. Okay, vote in the poll for what you want to watch next. Vote in the poll. Can you vote on mobile? I'm not sure. History of the entire world is winning pretty severely. Oh, is it this one? I'm pretty sure I've seen this before. History of the World 1. Okay.
Hi, you're on a rock, floating in space. Pretty cool, huh? Some of it's water. Fuck it. Actually, most of it's water. I can't even get from here to there without buying a boat. It's sad. I'm sad. I miss you. How did this happen? A long time ago. Actually, never. And also now. Nothing is nowhere. When? Never. Makes sense, right? Like I said, it didn't happen. Nothing was never anywhere. That's why it's been everywhere. It's been so everywhere, you don't need a where. You don't even need a when. That's how every it gets. Forget this. I want to be something, go somewhere, do something. I want things to change. I want to invent time and space. And I know it's possible because everything is here and it probably already happened. I just don't know when to start. And that's exactly where it started. Oh, I paused it. I think there's a universe now. What's it made of? Quarks and stuff. Ah, that's a thing. In a place. Don't like it? Try a new place. At a different time. Try to stick together because the world is going to get bigger and emptier. But it's not empty yet. It's still very full and about 1 jillion degrees. Great news, the quarks are now happily married in groups of 3, called a proton or a neutron. And there's something else flying around too that wants to join in but can't because it's still too... Great news, the protons and neutrons are now happily married to each other. Some of them even doubled up. Great news, the electrons have now joined in. Congratulations, the world is now a bunch of gas in space. But it's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together. It's a star. New shit just got made. Some stars burn out and die. Bigger stars burn out and die with passion and make some brand new, way crazier shit. Space dust. Which allows newer, more interesting stars to be made and then die and explode into even crazier space dust. So now stars have cool stuff around them, like rocks, ice, and funny clouds, which can make some very interesting things. Like this ball of flaming rocks, for example. Holy shit, we just got hit with another ball of flaming rocks. And it kind of made a mess, which is now... Weather update, it's raining rocks from outer space. Weather update, those rocks might have had water inside them and now there's hot steam in the sky. Weather update, cooler temperatures today and the floor is no longer lava. Weather update, it's raining. Severe flooding alert, the entire world is now an ocean. Volcano alert. That's land. There's life in the ocean. What? Something's alive in the ocean. Oh cool, like a plant or an animal? No, a microscopic speck. It lives at the bottom of the ocean and eats chemical soup, which is being served hot and fresh, made from gnarly space ingredients left over from when it was raining rocks or whatever. Oh yeah, and it can do that. It has secret instructions written inside itself telling it how to build another one of itself. So that's pretty nifty, I would say. Tired of living at the bottom of the ocean? Now you can eat sunlight. Using a revolutionary technique, you can convert sunlight into food. Side effect, now there's oxygen everywhere and the sky's blue. Then the Earth might have been a snowball for a while, maybe even a couple of times. It's a sponge, it's a plant, it's a worm and some other types of weird strange water bugs and strange fish. It's the Cambrian explosion. Wow, that's animals and stuff. But we're still in the ocean. Hey, can we go on land? No. Why? The sun is a deadly laser. Oh, okay. Not anymore, there's a blanket. Now the animals can go on land. Come on, animals, let's go on land. Nope, can't walk yet. And there's no food yet, so I don't care. Okay, will you learn to walk if there's plants up here? Maybe, said some bugs. And fish. Okay, so I can go on land, but I have to go back in the water to have babies. Learn to use an egg. I was already doing that. Use a stronger egg. Put water in it. Have a baby on land in an egg. Water is in the egg. Baby in the egg, in the water, in the egg. Works for me. Bye-bye, ocean. And now everything's huge, including bugs. Want to see a map of the land? Sure. Oh, fuck, now everything's dead. Just kidding, here are the survivors. Keep your eye on this one because it's about to become the dinosaurs. Here's another map of the land. Yeah, it broke apart, don't worry about it, it does that all the time. Here comes a meteor. And the dinosaurs are gone. It's mammal time, here come the mammals. Look at those breasts, now they're gonna dominate the world. And one of them just learned how to grab stuff. And walk. No, like, walk like that. And grab stuff at the same time. And bang rocks together to make pointed rocks. Ouch. And set things on fire. Youch. And make crazy sounds with their voice. Knirsch, which can mean different things. That's a human person. And now they're everywhere. Almost. Ice Age. What? You can walk over here? Cool. Not anymore. Well, I guess we're stuck here now. Let's review. There's people on the planet. And they're chasing their food. Fuck it, time to plant some grass. Look at this, I control the food now. Now everyone will want to be my friend and live near me. Let's all build houses, except mine is bigger because I own the food. This is great, I wonder if anyone else is doing this. Tired of using rocks for everything? Use metal, it's underground. Better farming was just invented in a sweet dank valley right in between these two rivers, and the animals are helping. Guess what happens next? More food, and more
Everything wasn't huge, we're just tiny as F? Well, that's relative, isn't it?
People who came to buy the food. Now you need people to help make the food and keep track of the sales. And now you need houses for people to live in and people to make the houses. And now there's more people and they invent things, which makes things better. And more people come and there's more farming and more people to make more things for more people. And now there's business, money, writing, laws, power. Society. Coming soon to a dank river valley near you. Meanwhile, out in the middle of nowhere, the horse is probably being tamed. Why is all my metal so lame and lumpy? Tired of using lame, sad metal? Introducing bronze, made with special ingredient tin from the far lands of Tinland. I don't know, my dealer won't tell me where he gets it. Also, guess what? Egypt. Meanwhile, out in the middle of nowhere, they figured out how to put wheels on a horse. Now we're getting somewhere. Also, China. And did I mention Indus River Valley Civilization? The Middle East is getting more complicated, maybe because it's in the middle of the East. Knock knock, or clop clop, it's the people with the horses. And they made an empire, and then everyone else copied their horses. Greeks! Ah look, it must be the Greeks, or a beta version of the Greeks. Let's check in with the Indus River Valley Civilization. They're gone. Guess who's not gone? China. New arrivals in India. Maybe it's those horse people I was talking about, or their cousins or something. And they wrote some hymns and mantras and stuff. You could make a religion out of this. There's the Bronze Age collapse. Now the Phoenicians can get down to business. Also, can we switch to a metal that's a little easier to find? Thanks. Look who came back to Israel. It's the 12 tribes of Israel. And they believe in God. Just one, though. He's got like a 10-step program. Here's some huge heads. Must be the Olmecs. The Phoenicians make some colonies. The Greeks copy their idea and make some colonies. The Phoenicians made a colony so big it makes colonies. Here comes the Assyrian Empire. Never mind, it's the Babylonian Median. It's the Persian Empire. Wow, that's big. Ah, the Buddha was just enlightened.
That's
Who's
good.
the Buddha? This guy who sat under a tree for so
That doesn't match what you were taught in Sunday school. Funny.
long that he figured out how to ignore the fact that we're all dying. You can make a religion out of this. Oops, China just broke, but while it was breaking, Confucius was figuring out how to have good morals. Ah, the Greeks just had the idea of thinking about stuff. And right over here, Alexander just had the idea of conquering the entire Persian Empire. It's a great idea. He was great. And now he's dead. Hopefully the rest of the gang will be able to share the empire evenly between them. Knock knock, it's Chandragupta. He says, get the hell out of here. Will you get the hell out of here if I give you 500 elephants? Okay, thanks, bye.
Time to conquer all of India, or most of India.
But what about this part? That's the Tamil Kings. No one conquers the Tamil Kings. Who are the Tamil Kings?
Merchants probably, and they've got spices.
Who would like to buy the spices? Me, said the Arabians, swiftly buying it and selling it to the rest of the world. Hey, China put itself back together again, with good morals as their main philosophy. Actually, they have 3 main philosophies. Out here, the horse nomads run wild and free, and they would like to ransack your city. Let's check the Greekification levels of the Greekified kingdoms. Greekification overload. Bye, said the Parthians. Bye, said the Jews. Hi, said the Parthians, taking over the entire place. Hey, said the Romans, eating the entire Mediterranean for breakfast. Thanks for invading our homeland, said the Jews, who were starting to get tired of people invading their homeland. Hi, everything's great, said some guy who seems to be getting very popular and is then arrested and killed for being too popular, which only makes him more popular. You can make a religion out of this. Want silk? Now you can buy it from China. They just made a brand new road to the world. Or you can get their own water. Sick, new trade routes, said India, accidentally spreading their religion to the entire southeast. That's a good place for an epic trading kingdom. There goes Buddhism traveling up the Silk Road. I wonder if it'll reach China before it collapses again. Remember the Persian Empire? Yep, said the Persians, making a new one. Axum is getting so powerful they would like to build a long stick. Has anyone populated Madagascar yet? Let's do it together.
China's whole again, then it broke again.
Still can't cross the Sahara Desert? Try camels.
Hell yeah, now we got business,
said the Ghana Empire, selling lots of gold and slaves. Hi, I live in the Roman Empire, and I was wondering...
Is loving Jesus legal yet?
No. Actually, okay, sure, said Constantine, moving the capital way over here to be closer to his main rival. Don't worry about Rome, it won't fall.
It's the golden age of India.
There's the Gupta Empire, not Chandragupta, just Gupta. First name Chandra. The first. Guess who's in Rome?
Barbarians.
What's a barbarian? Non-Romans, said the Romans, being invaded by non-Romans. R.I.P. Roman Empire. Or actually just half of it. The other half is just fine. But it's not in Rome anymore, so let's give it a new name.
The Mayans have figured out the stars.
Oh, and here's a huge city. Population everyone. The Gokturks have taken over the entire Eurasian steppe. Great job, Gokturks. How's India? Broken. How's China?
Back together.
How's those trading kingdoms?
Bigger and there's more of them.
Korea has 3 kingdoms. Japan has a kingdom. It's the Sunrise Kingdom. Deep in the Arabian desert, on the top of a mountain, the real God whispers in Muhammad's ear. So he goes down to the cube where everyone worships gods, and he tells them their gods are all fake. And everyone got so mad at him that he had to leave town and go to a different town. You can make a religion out of this, and maybe conquer the world as well. The Roman Empire is long gone, but somehow the Pope is still the Pope. Plus there's
new kingdoms all over Europe.
I wonder if there's room for Moors. Here's all the wisdom. In a house. It's the Baghdad House of Wisdom. Just in time for the
Islamic Golden Age.
Let's bring stuff to the coast and sell it and become the Swahili on the Swahili coast, said the Swahili on the Swahili coast. Remember this tiny space you have to go through to get from here to there? Someone owns that now. Want to get enlightened in the middle of nowhere? The Franks have the biggest kingdom in Europe, and the Pope is so proud that he invites the king over for Christmas. Surprise, you're the new Roman emperor, said the Pope, pretending to still be part of the Roman Empire. Then the Franks broke their kingdom into what will later be called France and not France. The Northerners, or just Norse if you don't have much time, are exploring. They go north, from the north to the northern north, and they find some land, 2 types of land, and they name them accordingly. They also invade some other places and get called many names, such as Vikings. There's the Rus, the Kievan Rus. Are they Vikings? I don't think so, said the Kievan Rus. Okay, fair enough. The Pope is ready to make some more emperors of the Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire. It's actually Germany, but don't worry about it. New kingdoms.
Christianize all the kingdoms.
Which brand would you like? Mine's better, mine's better, mine's better. Time to conquer England, said William. It's a bird, it's a plane.
It's the Seljuk Turks,
said the Byzantine Empire, who's getting so small it almost doesn't exist anymore. We need help. They need help, so they call the Pope. Hey, Pope, can you help us get rid of the Seljuks? Maybe take back the Holy Land on the way? Come on, I know you want to take back the Holy Land. Yes, I do actually want to do that. Let's do a crusade.
Crusade!
They did many crusades, some of which almost didn't fail, but at least the Italians got some sweet trade deals. Goodbye, Mayans.
Hello, Toltecs.
Goodbye, Toltecs.
Hello, Mississippi.
Look at those mounds. There's the Pueblo. I always wondered how to build a town in a cliff. Guess who's here? Come here. Where? Here. And Pagan is there. Vietnam unconquered itself, Korea just became itself, and Japan is so addicted to art that the military might have to take over the government. China just invented bombs and typing, and the Mongols just invaded most of the universe. Nice going, Genghis. I bet that will last a long time. Some of the Islamic Turks were unaffected by the Mongol invasions because they were busy invading India. Is it Tonga time? I think it's Tonga time. I just found out where the Swahili gets all their gold. Look at this Chad. Means lake. There's an empire there, right in the middle of... The king of Mali is so rich he's going on tour to let everyone know. Wow, that guy's rich, everyone said. The Christians are doing a great job reconquering Iberia, which will soon be called Spain and not Spain. Please remain Christian. We will check in later to see if you're still Christian when you least expect. Whoops, half of Europe just died. China's back, yay! Hey, come here, time to share. New kingdoms here and there. Oh, look who controls all the islands. It's the Mahajapit, Majahapit, Mapajahit, Mahapajit, Mapajahit, Majapahit. Oh, Italy's really rich. Time for them to care a lot about art and the ancient classics. It's kind of like a rebirth. Here's a printer, let's make books. So you think you can conquer the Byzantine Empire? Yep, said the Ottoman Turks. Nice job, Ottoman Turks. Oops, you missed a spot. Don't forget to ban Europe from the Indian spice trade. What? That's bullshit, said Portugal, spiceless.
Well, I guess we'll have to find another way to India.
Wait, said Christopher Columbus, probably smoking crack. If the world is round, let's go this way to India. No, don't worry, we already got this, said Portugal. So Chris goes to Spain. Hey, Spain, want to hire me to find India by going around back of the world? No, please, no, please, no, please. Okay. So he sails into the ocean and discovers more ocean, and then discovers the Indies and Japan. Let's draw a line to decide who gets which half of the world. The Aztec and Inca empires are off to a great start. I wonder if they know that Europe just discovered their continent. The Habsburgs are marrying into so many royal families they might have to start marrying each other. Move over, Lithuania. Here comes Moscow. Ivan wants to make Russia great again.
MST3K fan 77. So I just joined and I apologize if I'm being distracting, but this question is for you, but for your beautiful girlfriend Baha. Since you said you like Earthsea, are the other fantasy series, I don't know what you mean. Since you said you like Earthsea, are there, Baha. Since you said you like Earthsea, are there any other fantasy series you enjoy? Thanks, Baha and Hannah and Jake and everyone for your content.
Move over, Timurids. Maybe go invade India or something. Persia just made Persia Persian again. Let's make it the other kind of Islam. The one where we thought the first guy should have been the other guy. Hey, Christians, do you sin? Now you can buy your way out of hell. That's bullshit. This whole thing is bullshit. That's a scam. Fuck the church.
Fuck yeah, Martin Luther.
Here's 95 Reasons Why, said Martin Luther in his new book, which might have accidentally started the Protestant Reformation.
Oh god, the history of Christianity is so interesting to me. The fact that big ball Martin Luther's like, hey guys, guess what? I have grievances. I'm gonna nail this to the church door. Ballsy.
You know what would be magnificent, said Suleiman wearing an onion hat? What if the Ottoman Empire was really big, which it is now? What if Russia was big, said Ivan, trying not to be terrible? Portugal had a dream that they controlled the entire Indian Ocean, including the spice trade. And then that dream was real. And Spain realized that this is not India, but they pillaged it anyway. Damn, said England and France. We gotta start pillaging some stuff. Then the Dutch revolt and all the hipsters moved to Amsterdam. Damn, said Amsterdam. We gotta start pillaging some stuff. Question 1, can you get to India through North America? No, but at least there's beaver. Question 2, steal the spice trade. That's not a question, but the Dutch did it anyway. Guess where all the sugar's made? In Brazil. Stolen. In the Caribbean. And it's so goddamn profitable you might forget to not do slavery. The next thing on Russia's to-do list is to get bigger. Britain and France are having a friendly discussion about who should control the entire world, more specifically, Ohio. Then it escalates into a 7-year discussion, giving Prussia a chance to show Austria who's boss. But what about Britain and France? Did they figure out who's boss? Yes, they did. It's Britain. Guess who's broke? Also Britain. So they start taxing the hell out of America. Fuck you, says America, declaring their independence and fighting for it. And France helps them win. Now France is broke. And Britain will have to send their prisoners to a different continent. Wait, if France is broke, why do the king and queen still wear such fancy dresses? Let's overthrow the palace and cut all their heads off, said Robespierre, cutting everybody's head off until someone eventually got mad and cut his head off. You could make a No, don't. Haiti is starting to like the idea of a revolution, especially the slaves, who free themselves by killing their masters. Why didn't we think of this before? Wait, who's in charge of France now? Said Napoleon, trying to take over Europe. Luckily, they banished him to an island.
But he came back.
Luckily, they banished him to another island. There goes Latin America, becoming independent in the Latin American Wars of Independence. Britain just figured out how to turn steam into power, so now they can make
many different types of machines and factories with machines in them, so they can make a lot of products real fast.
Then they invent some trains, and conquer India and maybe put some trains there. Hey, China, said Britain, buy stuff from us. Nah, dude, we already got everything, says China. So Britain tried to get them addicted to opium, which worked, actually. But then China made it illegal and dumped it all into the sea. So Britain threw a hissy fit and made them open up 5 cities and give them an island. Britain and Russia are playing a game where they try to stop each other from conquering Afghanistan. Also, the
Sultan of Oman lives in Zanzibar now.
That's just where he lives. India just had a revolution, and they would like to govern themselves now. Nope, said Britain, governing them even harder than before.
Technology is about to go crazy.
The United States finally figured out whether slavery is good or bad. It's bad, they decided. And then they continued manifesting their destiny, which is to kill the rest of the natives and take their land and maybe kick out the Mexicans too. I know, let's rape Africa, said Europe, scrambling to see who could rape it the fastest. They never got Ethiopia. Britain and France are still hungry. They never got Thailand. The United States ran out of destiny to manifest, so they're looking for more.
Hawaii, Cuba.
Wait, Spain controls Cuba. Well, blame something on them and go to war. What should we blame on Spain? Let's blame the Maine on Spain. So they blame the Maine on Spain. Now we're in business. To celebrate, they kick Panama out of Panama and make a canal, connecting the two oceans. Britain just found oil in the Middle East. It makes cars go. China is so tired of being bossed around that they delete their old government and make a new, stronger government, which is accidentally weaker and controlled by a guy from the previous government. Europe hasn't had a war since the last war, so they start World War I. Look at those guns. It's gonna be a great war. So great we won't need a second one. After it's over, they blame Germany. Russia went on strike and the workers overthrew the government. Now everyone's paycheck is the same.
Communism in the Soviet Union.
The Arabs revolt and Britain helps. Now the Ottoman Empire's gone, so we can give the
Jewish people a place to live.
Hopefully the Arabs won't mind. Let's cut the cake, said Sykes and Picot, carving up the remains of the not-so-Ottoman-anymore empire.
Except Turkey, Turkey makes a brand new Turkey.
And then the Saudis conquer Arabia. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Hello? Yes, it's the 1920s calling. Let's get in the car and drive.
Antipodean Squid, from the incredible lack of Australia, except for one mention, even I'm beginning to think it doesn't exist. Has anyone even seen Australia, to be fair?
To a party and listen to jazz on the radio and go to the movies. The economy's great and it'll probably be great forever. Just kidding. Germany's back featuring Hitler, the angry mustache model, and he's mad at the Jews for existing. Japan is finally conquering the East, and they're so excited they raped Nanking way too hard. They should probably just deny it. Hitler's out of control, so the international community tackles him and tries to explain why killing all the Jews is a bad idea, but he kills himself before they could explain it to him.
That's World War II.
Bonus round, Pacific Showdown. United States versus Japan. Fight.
Oh!
Finish it. Let's unite all the nations and have some
world peace.
Seems legit. Hi, I'm Gandhi, and if Britain doesn't get the hell out of India, I'm going to starve myself in public. Wow, that worked. Bonus, now there's Pakistan. Actually, two Pakistans. One of them could be Bangladesh later. The Jews and the Arabs finally figured out which one of them should live in the Holy Land. Me, they both said at the same time. Let's divide up the land so everyone's happy.
Psych, they both get angrier.
Look out, China. There's a new China in China. What's on the menu? Communism. No thanks, said the other China, escaping to an island. I wonder which one is the real China. There's the Korean War, Korea versus Korea. Nobody wins, then it's on pause forever. Let's meet the sponsors. Oh, it's the two global superpowers. They're having a friendly debate over which economic system is good and which one is an evil virus of Satan. And they both have atom bombs. Fight! Wait, no, that would be the end of the world. Let's just keep it cool and spy on each other instead. And make sure we have enough atom bombs. I'll race you to space. Now let's make some more countries fight themselves. Europe is tired of pillaging other continents, and the continents they were pillaging are tired of being pillaged. So here's a new map with new countries. Now you can't tell who they're being pillaged by. The United States finally decided whether racism is good or bad. They decided it's bad, and the world agrees. South Africa might need another minute to think about it. Let's check the world population. Whoa. Okay. Technology's better too, that might keep happening. The Soviet Union decides to relax a little and accidentally falls apart. Europe makes a union, so now they can all use the same money, except Britain because they don't feel like it. Let's check the mail. Surprise, it's on the computer. Whoops, someone just attacked America. I bet they'll remember that. Phone call. Surprise, it's in your pocket. Want to learn everything? Surprise, it's on the computer. Now your phone's a computer, which is in your pocket. Whoops, the economy just crashed. Don't worry, the big banks won't fail because they're not supposed to. Surprise, flying robots. With bombs. Want to print a brain? Some people have no friends. Some people have no food. The globe is warming.
And the ocean is full of plastic.
Let's save the planet, said everybody, not knowing how. Let's invent a thing inventor, said the thing inventor after being invented by a thing inventor. That's pretty cool. By the way, where the hell are we?
That's good. That's pretty darn good. Okay, we could probably do one more thing. Let me set up a poll. What else do you guys want on the thing? Channel Awesome Cringe? Okay. Okay. There's the poll. What's last? What's the last thing we're going to cover today? While that poll goes, I'm going to go get some more water. I'll be back in just a sec. Ow. Ooh, ghosts are winning. Can't use your bits for extra votes. I didn't set it up so you couldn't know. Okay, ghost wins. Let's look at some ghosts. Some spooky, spooky ghosts. Alright, so as all of you know, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't think ghosts are real. I don't think there's evidence of ghosts. Ghosts aren't real. Let's watch some people who supposedly caught some ghosts on camera and talk about why it's not ghosts.
The top 5 YouTubers who caught ghosts in videos.
And as we all know, YouTubers are known for being very honest and never making things up for sensationalism.
Exploring with Josh. The YouTube channel Exploring with Josh is based around exploring creepy abandoned buildings, including some locations that are allegedly haunted. So maybe it should come as no surprise that occasionally Josh and his crew do happen upon a strange encounter in one of these structures. While exploring an abandoned school building that's covered in graffiti, including pentagrams and other strange satanic writings, the group experiences something they can't.
They made that. They sprayed that down right before they filmed this. It's probably still wet.
And explain.
Guys, so much doors are opening and closing right now. Sounds like someone hitting like a wall. I know, it really does though. Oh my fucking god, did you get that on tape? No. That is insane.
That's either, if I'm being generous, the wind, or if I'm being cynical, they have another friend on the side of the door doing that. Because people who go and film ghosts are often liars who manufacture stuff for views.
Oh my god, another door just closed. Oh my god.
Ah, friend. He has a friend behind the door. That's what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna start a new game show. Wind or fucking liar? Survey says, fucking liar.
We gotta get the fuck out of here. Holy shit, we're just standing on a... Dude, upside down crosses? We're getting back to some dangerous shit, guys.
Wow.
After this encounter,
such acting. Get this guy a Webby Award. Is that a thing?
Josh and his fellow explorers decide to leave the abandoned school. Angry and scared Grandpa. The YouTube channel Angry Grandpa is a scripted series that features a guy recording the rage-fueled ramblings and adventures of his grumpy granddad. But in one of their...
Definitely not set up at all. Clearly the grandpa actually destroyed a $300 TV.
Videos, something very unscripted appears in the video. Now just watch the trash can behind Angry Grandpa.
They're going to your house because you had another stroke.
It appears that someone or something with a very small head is peering at them from behind the trash can. Then it disappears from sight.
That would most likely be a child. That's a child.
Because you had another stroke.
It appears that someone or something with a very small head is peering at them from behind the trash can. Then it disappears from sight. The head seems too small to be that of a child.
Oh, it could be a squirrel or something too. It's blurry, so it's hard to tell.
Now,
you can see them move behind the
what
can.
makes this clip especially believable is that the strange figure lurking in the background
Yeah, you can see it start to duck down.
is not mentioned in the video at all. In fact, the producer behind the Angry Grandpa show didn't even notice the figure until people began pointing it out in the YouTube comments. Later, when he shows the clip to Angry Grandpa himself, at first he doesn't even see it.
Ain't no damn ghost.
Watch right here.
Ain't no ghost.
Okay, relax. Look, see where the trash can is right there? Watch it. Watch that area.
And then he honestly seemed slightly freaked out by the strange looking head peering at him above the garbage can.
Look. Wait, whoa. I'll pause it.
What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
It's either a small animal that jumps behind the trash can, or it's a kid who ducks behind it.
What the hell is that?
Watch this, it disappears. What is it, Michael? I have no idea.
Joe Weller's mental asylum. YouTuber Joe Weller decided to film a YouTube video inside an abandoned mental hospital as a joke. But things get a bit more serious when they suddenly start hearing the taunting screams of a child from somewhere inside the building. However, Joe Weller and his co-host don't take the noises too seriously. They joke that it's probably just some kids who've wandered into the building.
Jeez! Easy. Hello? What the was that? It's kids. Well, what do we do here? Calyx and Gundigan. Wait. Who's that there?
But the noises intensify.
Pretty alright, isn't it? Wait, what is that?
We're gonna get you. What's up in there then?
Come on! Take your trousers down! Who's having the banter? Well, this is funny. Wait, imagine if it isn't even like... right, what we do...
Alright, you're just vandalising now.
What are you gonna do? What is it?
Nothing.
There's a clear spot where they could have gotten out! It's either other people in the building messing with them, which would be funny, or they're doing this intentionally and it's another friend they have doing this. Again, for YouTube videos, YouTubers are liars. YouTubers are liars. That's a fact.
Hey, I beg you don't throw anything right now because we're just coming out. Hello? Is there anyone there? There's no one there. How did they run away so quickly? Hello?
Joe and his friend take the situation a bit more seriously when they find that there's no one else inside or around the building.
The thing that I don't get is it genuinely sounded like someone was banging on the door. You know that door that you shut at the entrance? Yeah. You know when we first came in, it sounded like someone was banging on that. 20 seconds after the last rock was thrown, we leave the building and there's no one to be seen.
Can't hear anything, yeah.
Like even now, like if it's kids, you would at least hear them like laughing or something. Still, why is there no one here now?
Like look at the
There's nothing
escape.
funny
Just
about
film
the
the
tools
escape.
of capitalism.
You have to come through here and through that gap in the fence. Like you.
So you're a liar too, Hannah? My trust is betrayed. Oh yeah, don't ever trust a YouTuber about anything. Ever. We're in it for the views, friends. It's our jobs.
Can't do it without making any noise. And we didn't hear any exit.
You didn't hear any...
I'm not saying everything a YouTuber ever does, including myself, is lying. It's not. And as far as I know, I've never intentionally told you guys, like, a lie. But, like, just be suspicious of anyone who stands to benefit from your viewership if what they're saying is true.
Anything?
No.
Guava Juice Ghost. YouTuber Guava Juice has often claimed that his house is haunted by the spirit of one of the previous owners. In one video, he captures some strange knocking that seems to be coming from...
It's Jake the dog. It's him. He's haunted.
his
with the
attic.
ghost of John DiMaggio, or what's his name? No, the guy who plays Bender, actor. It's something DiMaggio. Oh no, it is John DiMaggio. Okay.
It's definitely coming from up here. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, oh gosh. Ooh. I don't know, I can't do this.
But he just can't bring himself to check out the dark attic by himself. He sets down the camera and 2 minutes later, a strange reflection appears in the patio windows.
It's literally just someone over here walking.
And then the patio doors seem to slide open and closed all by themselves.
God. Boy, it sure is convenient that this is set up in exactly such a way as you can't see the entirety of the frame of the window. What? Well, that's a bummer, guys. We almost caught a ghost on camera and proved that ghosts exist for the first time in human history. But whoops, just didn't have the whole thing in frame. Whoopsie. It looked like someone in fucking tennis shoes. And also, who just sets their camera down, still running, in the middle of their living room? Why? Why did he assume anything would happen if he set it down and walked away?
Joe Weller's mental asylum revisited. So you saw YouTuber Joe Weller and his friend checking out an abandoned mental asylum in the video at number 3. Well, after Joe Weller's video went viral, the YouTube channel VJama decided to check out the abandoned building for themselves. After checking to make sure the building is empty, they place flour on the floor. So if any kids or anyone else enters the building while they're inside, they'll know. No one else enters the building, but they do have a strange encounter when they find that a hospital meal cart has been rolled to block a doorway while they are inside.
Waffle's done. We heard a bang. I think that's the kids though. I'm not gonna lie. What? Huh? What? Oh! Shit! Oh, sorry guys, wait, what the fuck was that? Is it... The fuck? Nobody's fucking here. Wait.
You know, let's check it like everyone.
Wait, check the floor. Yo, you man, check the floor.
The flower that's literally not in the hallway where they would have had to have been in order to do that. Genius.
Nobody's fucking here. I don't get this.
But there's no one fucking.
Look at the fucking floor.
No one here.
Oh my fucking god. Nobody stood over here because it. I'm fucking done.
YouTubers are bad actors.
Fucking done now, guys. Somebody's in the building.
No. Hey, don't step on the floor. Check the basement. Yo.
That guy literally walked over the flower, thus proving that someone could do the same. Oh, I'll just, maneuver around it. Like you can do if you're a human being and bipedal.
Fuck's sake, guys.
Hey, someone's in it.
Guys, I'm not even fucking joking anymore now.
Hey, you might beg me call shit. Yo, what?
Wait, I'm checking down it again because there has to be someone over here. Oh shit! It's gone! What the fuck?
If I yell, that's acting, right? Has this guy only ever seen Leonardo DiCaprio act?
No. I can't be off this. I'm
dipping out. I can't be asked for this. I can't be. I'm going. I can't be asked for this. You leave it, bro. Let's go, bro. That's so fucking weird. Your GoPro's still there. Fuck. It's fucked up, man. Oh my fuck.
This is fucked up, man. What was that?
It was mental, bruv. Fuck.
Oh god, it was a ghost. Guys, did you see that cart? What was that? It had to be a ghost because we were there and we had the flower. What the heck, man?
Now, in this top 5, I'm giving you the information as it was reported by the filmers. It's up to you to decide if it's real or fake.
Fake.
So you tell me what you think of each of these
Beelzebub,
YouTubers'
thanks for
videos
the
down in the
bits.
comments. Which seemed real, which seemed fake, and why does it seem real or why does it seem fake? Let everyone know your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to
Insured. We cannot be the laughing stock of the world in terms of our refusal to
comment
deal
on
with climate
good.
change.
I don't feel
or
the need to
immigration
comment on that
reform,
stuff.
or criminal justice.
Resources and tell stories that aren't being
What
told
the fuck
right
are
now.
you talking about?
We get to shift the way that the decision makers of our time in so many
Demon
ways.
Mom
fucking
Alive.
hate this so much, man.
I believe
Demon Mom Alive. Where's Demon Mom Alive? I'm not familiar with this individual. Add.
Video he posted, he's like wavering. There's a whole bunch of weird audio problems during the video, and then at one point he's just talking and like a booger like blasts out of his nose.
No.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's literally like, again, it's like the fucking, again, Plague King telepathically sending his thoughts to us whether we want it or not. It's fucking stupid. Yeah. All right, you want to hit me with the big brain
Have I seen
stuff
the
thing?
trailer
My brain
for
has
Mel
been
Gibson as
properly
Fat
pulverized
Man?
now, so I'm
No.
ready to go.
Yeah.
I watched
mean,
Mel Gibson
I don't know.
movies.
It depends
How
on
big brain
It feels
philosophy are
gross
we
to
going
me.
here? How big brain
It's
are we?
not. It's not too deep. But I will start by asking because I'm sure you have. But have you read Capitalist Realism by the old?
I haven't actually read it, but
Okay.
I've watched.
We will
numerous
raid this
videos analyzing
person.
it. I'm one of those people.
Oh,
who,
interesting.
who's very, very bad at reading these days.
I don't have an opinion on it until Vosh makes a video
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, that's me. No, actually, I've watched like
All
2 or 3
right, so
different
enjoy
videos analyzing
this stream of
capitalist
Hearthstone
realism.
and chatting with
but it's
people.
not a, like,
I hope you
fuck,
have
the number of
a
books I've read.
wonderful
Okay,
evening,
this
everyone.
is gonna sound like
Chat
I'm
is
lying to
valid.
you,
I don't
but
think
I've
I'll be back
actually
tomorrow,
read
although maybe
more hard theory
depends on when Baja Blast
recently
shows
than
up.
any other type of
She's
book.
coming up
not
from
super
you
heavy
know,
stuff, but
where
let's
she
see, what
normally
did I
lives.
read? I'm trying to
So
go
I might
back
take the
and
day
let
off,
me
but
tell you,
if
I can
she's
tell
gonna
you
be
'cause I
here
have
at
my notes
5,
on.
like she
I read
said, maybe I'll do an
Reformism
earlier
by
stream before she
Malatesta.
gets here. I'm not
I
sure.
read
Either way,
Capitalist System by
I'll see you guys
Mikhail
on Saturday
Bakunin.
at minimum.
I read
so have
Rosa
a good night, everyone.
Luxemburg's, what was it called? Fuck.
Reformer
Shit, I have so many.
Revolution?
Yeah, Reformer Revolution. I've
Yeah,
listened to
that
like
shit
half of
slaps.
Lenin, State and Revolution. Yeah. Oh shit.